Alrighty, we are going live with Dinrova Horror Tron in Pauper. One that I'm not particularly excited for. Not really a fan of the Pauper format, but I was told that this deck can be pretty mean. So, in our search for the Mia Second Legacy, or Magic, I should say, just used to playing Legacy. This is one that was brought up, so we're gonna try it out. We're gonna see how it goes. I've had a few test games so far. I'm not 100% on the deck list. This is just a 5.0 deck list I found on MTG Goldfish when I wasn't sure what exactly to build for this. Again, I'm not really familiar with Pauper. We're going to try this out today. So, got a Tron mana base. That's 12 Tron pieces of 4 Urza's Mine, 4 Urza's Power Plant, 4 Urza's Tower. For those of you not familiar with Tron, each land taps for a colorless. If you control each one, so if you control one Urza's Mine, one Urza's Power Plant, one Urza's Tower, Urza's Mine will tap for 2 instead of 1. Urza's Power Plant taps for 2 instead of 1. Urza's Tower taps for 3 instead of 1. So, in this deck, if you can assemble all 3 Tron pieces, you get 7 mana overall between the 3 of them, which is significant for 3 lands, obviously. It's not as good as Cloud Post, but hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? So there's 3 Shimming Grotto. You can make a lot of mana, so it doesn't matter that. So it taps for colorless, but you can make a lot of mana, so it doesn't matter for the 1 mana tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. It allows you to filter out your mana to cast all your color spells. There's 5 of the dual lands. I'm going to go ahead and do the finger quotations because it's pretty much what you get in Pauper. This 4 Thornwood Falls. It's the, I don't remember exactly what they're called, but it's the one that enters battlefield. You gain a life, taps for a green or a blue. 1 Civic Gilgate, enters battlefield, tap again, taps for a green or a blue. And then there's a couple of utility lands. Like Remote Island's not really a utility land, but when you're like later in the game, you got a lot of mana. You need to you don't want more land. You can cycle it away to draw a card, so it's fine. So 1 basic island. Not really sure what the basic island's all about, but there's a basic island here. Then there is a Bajuka Bog, which is a non-basic land. When it enters the battlefield tapped, it enters the battlefield and you can exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Also taps for a black, which can go towards casting Dinrova Horror. So Bajuka Bog's in there as a random, just a random utility land that you can crop rotate for, or just use an expedition map to go grab. Then there's 2 crop rotations. So obviously crop rotation is additional cost to cast it. You have to sacrifice a land, but you get to search your library for a land card, put that in the battlefield, and that's untapped, so it can be relevant. Obviously Bajuka Bog and Remote Isle, as well as your Thornwood Falls and Civic Gilgates, they enter the battlefield tapped on their own, so crop rotation doesn't get around that, and then you shuffle your library. Crop rotation is a great way where you have like a mine and a tower, you can crop rotate away one of your other lands to go get a power plant, and you're immediately at 7 mana. 2 expedition maps, again, land tutor, it's 1 mana artifact, 2 mana sack it. You can search your library for a land card, reveal it, put in your hand, then shuffle your library. Another great way to assemble Tron. It also can assemble Tron on curve, so if you start with a mine, then go into like power plant, you can go search up a tower, and then next turn immediately play tower and have 7 mana. 2 prohibit. So I'm not gonna tell you why all these cards exist here, because again I'm not familiar with Pauper, but 2 prohibits, just a cheap counter spell. It can counter target spell if its command cost is 2 or less. If it was kicked, you counter spell and its command cost was 4 or less. Rather than playing counterspell, I'm assuming this is here because it only costs 1 in a blue, or it costs 3 in a blue. Counterspell costing double blue can be tough when you are on 12 Tron lands. Can be really tough to get that double blue. Obviously, you have like Prophetic Prisms and whatnot. This comes more on curve than counterspell will as a result, though. So there is that. 1 Remove Soul, it's just counter target creature spell. One of the things I have discovered with this deck is that countering creatures can be tough, especially when you get stuff like I played against some like Rix's Affinity deck that runs Gear. Is it Gear Seeker Serpent, something like that? So this is a good way to just counter any creature spells, no matter how much it costs. 4 Moments Peace. So Moments Peace is prevent all combat damage that we dealt this turn, and it's flashback at 2 and a green. So it's a way to early game just kind of blunt the assault a bit before you can eventually get your like Dinrova Horror, Mock Walls online with Ghostly Flicker and whatnot to kind of lock your opponent out. Demir Signet. It is some mana fixing, so 2 mana artifact, 1, tap it, adds black blue. It's a great way to fix your mana. If you already have natural Tron in hand, you hit this on turn 2. Turn 3, you can immediately cast like Dinrova Horror. You can cast Mull Drifters, stuff like that. For Perfect Prism, it's a card that when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, so it's a great way to cantrip through your deck a bit. And again, it's another filter, so it's 1 mana tap it, you add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So that's another way, once you get like your 7 mana off Tron, you can start fixing your colors. So it's pretty necessary, I'd say. You can also use like Ghostly Flicker early game with like Mnemonic Ball. So you can like Ghost Flicker, hit your Mnemonic Ball, hit your Prophetic Prism. You draw a card, return your Ghostly Flicker to your hand. So you can kind of start digging through your deck and finding the cards you need. It's 2 Forbidden Alchemy. It's 2 in a blue. You look at the top 4 cards of your library. You put 1 in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. It flashes back for 6 in the black. So this gives you the ability to, again, filter through your deck to find the pieces you need in order to fight the good fight. 2 Ghostly Flicker. Again, you can exile 2 target artifact, creatures, and/or lands you control. You return those cards to the battlefield under your control. So Ghostly Flicker with the Mnemonic Wall is basically every 3 mana you can cast Ghostly Flicker once to rebuy something. So if you're casting Ghostly Flicker, let's say it's early game, you want to flash out your Mnemonic Wall, flash out your Prophetic Prism, you can draw a card, return Ghostly Flicker, and just keep doing that for every 3 mana. Again, it helps your ability to be able to dig through your deck. Obviously, Ghostly Flicker, you can flicker out like a Mole Drifter and a Mnemonic Wall, so you can like really dig through your deck. So it's fine. Ghostly Flicker can also be used if you get 6 mana and you want all the cards to draw. You can like evoke a Mole Drifter in response to the evoke trigger. You can Ghostly Flicker it because the evoke trigger only matters when you cast it. But if you exile it and bring it back immediately, you won't have the evoke trigger to worry about anymore. So you can actually use 6 mana rather than 5. You can use 6 mana to draw 4 and keep a Mole Drifter in play, and then you can obviously reload later with like Mnemonic Wells and whatnot. 2 Seagate Oracles, just an early 1/3 that can block for a bit. When it enters battlefield, you look at the top 2 cards of your library, you put 1 in your hand, 1 in the bottom of your library. It's a kind of decent to dig, but I'm not huge on these Seagate Oracles from testing and whatnot. Like they're fine, but they're not usually, in my experience, they're not usually going to be good enough to really. They're not going to be that great early game. I might just be missing something. I might just be like, again, I have a lot of experience with Popper. The games I've practiced on Thursday with this deck are the only games I have on my belt, so about 5 or so matches, I believe, maybe 4. CJ Oracle seems fine, but again, I'm not huge on it. The being the 1/3 is kind of nice because it's like I played against like some black-white suicide aggro deck that was playing like Carnophages, Sacred Cats, and Sacrophages. So I mean, it's okay early game, but it's not anything I'm excited for. I feel like there could be something better in here. I'm not sure what kind of sweeper effects there are, but I feel like this deck needs sweeper effects. So I'd have to like look into that if I was going to possibly change the deck list around. But those would be like my first 2 personal cuts. 2 Pulsar Marassa. So this is a card I was most excited for in this deck so far. I was able to Pulsar Marassa for 2 and a green. It's an instant. You return target creature or land from your graveyard to its owner's hand. You gain 6 life. So this was really good in a couple of the aggro matchups I played. I was able to chain Pulsar Marassa with Mnemonic Wall. So Mnemonic Wall was able to block a Gear Seeker Servant over multiple turns, or Serpent, excuse me, over multiple turns, and I was able to use Pulsar Marassa and Mnemonic Wall to create basically an endless loop to ensure that I didn't die and I could keep myself from dying to just random like bolts off the top or whatnot. Pulsar Marassa is a card that I think in this deck I'm most excited for. So that's one thing that I think is real good in this deck. And this obviously can blunt the assault quite a bit when you're against aggro. It does drop on turn 3 if you need it to. 2 Mystical Teachings. You search your library for an instant card or a card with flash, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Has flashback for 5 and black. So again, like your Tron deck, like the flashback on this and Forbidden Alchemy, yes, they're expensive, but they're not really that hard for us to hit once we do get Tron assembled. But this is just a card where we can like go get a Ghostly Flicker, we can go get a Moment's Peace, we can go get a Pulsar Marassa, whatever we might need at the time. And it basically is just going to tutor help us find these things. In a pinch, it could be like Mystical Teachings for a Prohibit, a Remove Soul, or a Condescend, in order to kind of like, keep our opponents off the board a bit. 2 Mnemonic Wall, so it's a 4 and a blue defender creature wall, and when it enters the battlefield, you may return target instant or sorcery from graveyard to your hand. So this with Ghostly Flicker can create kind of a bit of a loop. It gives you the ability to be a little bit defensive, be able to rebuy some things like rebuy Mole Drifter triggers, rebuy Prophetic Prism triggers, can even rebuy like Seagate Oracle, but mostly like having Mnemonic Wall, Ghostly Flicker, and Dinrova Horror actually allows you to, as many times as you have 3 mana per turn cycle, you can bounce an opponent, target permanent to its owner's hand, then make the player discard a card. So you can do this against your opponent multiple times in a turn. For every 3 mana you have, you can Ghostly Flicker your Mnemonic Wall and your Dinrova Horror. You return Mnemonic Wall, that returns Ghostly Flicker to your hand. Dinrova Horror returns, bounces a permanent, they have to discard a card. So if you can do this 2 or 3 times in a turn cycle, you can keep your opponent basically down to 0 permanents, if not 0 permanents, and slowly dwindle away the cards in their hands. So that's kind of like the lock that this deck wants to eventually work up to. With only 2 Mnemonic Wall, I found that it's a little bit tougher to get there, but I'm not sure if I'd want a 3rd Mnemonic Wall in this deck, honestly. Like, one of the Seagate Oracles could probably be a 3rd Mnemonic Wall, but I'm not sure if that's correct or not. We'll see what happens. Then there's 4 Muldrifter. It's 4 in a blue, creature elemental. Has flying. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. It has an evoke cost for 2 in a blue. So evoke is when you cast this creature, if you cast it for its evoke cost, you sacrifice it when it enters the battlefield. And most of the evoke creatures have some type of enters the battlefield triggered ability. So, like, there's Muldrifters, the draw 2 cards for blue, for 2 and a blue. There's Ingot Chewer in red. It's 1 red, and when it enters the battlefield, you destroy target artifact. I forget the other ones, like Shriekmaw has Evoke. It's 1 and a black. When it enters the battlefield, you Terror. So you destroy target non-black, non-artifact creature. It's a 3/2 with Fear. You know, there's different Evoke creatures like that. I can't really remember the other ones at the moment, but the Evoke basically puts them, if you wanted them basically as a spell that's a creature, so it can't be countered by like a negate or whatever. Evoke is great to Evoke creatures are great to fill that role. So Muldrifter is fine, especially like when you get like I said earlier, Ghostly Flickers with Muldrifters, you can start like really, getting some value, making sure that you're, for cheaper, you're getting as much value as possible without having to worry about, just losing a creature for nothing. Well, at least for just the trigger. Dinrova Horror, again, we discussed with Mnemonic Wall and Ghostly Flicker. Dinrova Horror does a great job at kind of keeping your opponent back, making sure your opponent doesn't have a whole lot. So it's 4 blue-black, it's a horror. When it enters battlefield, you return target permanent to its owner's hand, then that player discards a card, so it's a recoil on this creature. Recoil is 1 blue-black, and it does just that. It's return target permanent to its owner's hand, and then that player discards a card. So this one's a 4/4, so it's also a decent beater. When you can kind of lock the board down, you can start beating in for 4 with your Dinrova Horror. Then 2 Condescend, so it's just an early counter spell that scries 2, so it's a decent way to dig through your deck a little bit, keep your opponent off a little bit. So you can counter your opponent's spell, you scry 2, you can, maybe dig for Tron pieces, you can dig for stuff in the lock for like, you can dig for your Dinrova Horrors, your Mnemonic Walls, your Ghostly Flickers. Obviously, if you have Tron built, you probably don't need to dig for more Tron pieces particularly. Sideboard, the sideboard this person had was 1 Radiant Fountain, so this is obviously against aggressive decks and whatnot. This can come in, you can crop rotate for it, you can Expedition Map, kind of gives you a little bit more life. You can use this in combination with Ghostly Flicker. If you have like this, Ghostly Flicker and Mnemonic Wall, you're actually able to kind of create a loop where you have a 0/4 blocker and 2 life a turn, so not terrible. 2 Dispel, just counter target spell for 1 blue. Great way to push through some of your some of the lock and whatnot. It's great to push through some of the spells to build Tron and whatnot. 3 Hydroblasts. I haven't particularly seen a deck that I really want this against, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, I'm sure Burn, this is probably a great card against. So let's choose 1 blue, instant, counter target spell if it's red, destroy target permanent if it's red. Then there's a pair of Electricity. So again, this is a poor sweeper in my opinion, but this is a sweeper nonetheless. Deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control, and you can overload for 1 in a red. I'm really not high on this card, but it exists, so I guess it's run. I'm not sure what decks this goes against, really, because I haven't seen anything that really has a lot of 1 power or 1 toughness creatures. So maybe through this league we'll find a deck that this actually matters against, but at the moment through testing I haven't found anything. But obviously this person 5-0 a league, so obviously this card probably was necessary at some point. 1 Ray of Revelation for 1 and a white, you can destroy target enchantment, and then you can flash back for 1 green. And again, it's an instant, so you can use your Mystical Teachings to go find it if there's an enchantment you need to answer. 1 Ancient Grudge, 1 in a red, you destroy target artifact, and flash back for 1 green. Again, you can use Mystical Teachings to find this card. You at least get 2 activations on it, not including any Mnemonic Walls you might be putting into play. 1 Probe for 2 in a blue, and has kicker of 1 in a black. You draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. So it's basically like a Thirst for Knowledge, a Compulsion, no, not Compulsion, Compulsive Research, anything like that, except if you kick it, it also is a Mind Rot, so you make your opponent, make target player discard 2 cards, so So it replaces itself, and you can take 2 cards from your opponent, basically. 1 Fierce Empath. So when it enters battlefield, you search the library for a creature card with commander cost 6 or greater. Reveal it, put your hand, shuffle your library. This can be a good way to find your Dinrova horrors. Post board, you can find like your Fangren Marauder, your Wretched Griff, or your Ulamog's Crusher. One of the matchups I played, I brought in Ulamog's Crusher. I think it was against the Grixis Affinity deck. For 8 mana, Annihilator 2, and attacks each turn at combat if able. It's 8/8. So it's a great way to just really just push through damage and start taking care of your opponent's permanents. Wretched Griff, this card I'm not really 100% positive what it's doing here, but I mean it does emerge for 5 and a blue, and obviously that will cost less. So like if you emerge this with like a Muldrifter in play, you're just gonna have to pay 1 blue. It's a 3/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, so not terrible. Again, if you able to Ghostly Flicker this, you can draw a card each time, so that's cool. Fangren Marauder. When artifacts put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you may gain 5 life. This is I'm assuming this is for like affinity and stuff like that. It's just a way to kind of pad your life total. What I noticed about affinity is they're running probably 4 Galvanic Blasts and multiple Lightning Bolts. I don't know if it's 4 or not. Probably should have spent a little more time looking at deck lists. So I got a better understanding of the format, but I didn't. But it's a 5/5 for 6, and whenever artifacts put in the graveyard from the battlefield, you may gain 5 life. So not terrible. Could be something that comes into play in one of our matches, hopefully. But this is the deck list. It should be interesting. We're going to try it out, see how it goes. I have had some fun with it, but for the most part, again, I'm not huge on Tron. I'm not huge on Pauper. And actually, I'm not even huge on Tron myself anyway. I'm more of a Cloud Post player in Legacy rather than a Tron player in Modern. But the deck has shown some potential and it has shown some fun. So for us at least, it's shown some misery for our opponents. So I'm excited. We're going to try it out, see how it goes. I'm going to try and load up this first match. Okay. Hopefully we can load some matches quicker. It seems like these leagues are pretty full usually. I have noticed that they're all friendly. It's only a friendly league. There's no competitive league for this, so it was cheaper, which is nice. Since I'm not familiar with it, we're probably not going to make our ticks back. If anyone has any questions, you can feel free to ask them. It doesn't really look like there's anyone in here, but if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to ask them. I'll try to answer them the best of my ability. I have a decent understanding of how this deck's supposed to work, but again, like I said, I'm not huge on Pauper, so we're going to see how this goes. My first run into Pauper, so. One thing that I have found frustrating is I found that this deck actually assembles Tron less regularly than Modern Tron does. And this deck runs crop rotation, so that was kind of an interesting thing that I noticed about this deck. Something I'm very concerned with, because with crop rotation, I assume you should be able to develop Tron much easier. So could just be my play. Again, I'm not familiar with this deck. I'm not familiar with the format, so it could just be weird hands to keep, stuff like that. We did win the die roll, which is cool. I will love to play first. Let's see. So we have Natural Tron. That's pretty cool. Simic Guildgate. So we have some colored mana. I'll probably lead on the Simic Guildgate, so we can keep Remove Soul up for turn 2, and then we'll have access to Moment's Peace as well. Obviously, going right into Tron would be great, but we don't particularly have any way to fix our mana once we hit Tron. Since we hit Tron, we won't have anything to do unless we lead on the Guildgate. We don't want to give the information we're Tron right off the bat, because it could, change my opponent's first couple. So our opponent's leaving on Darksteel Citadel and Springleaf Drum. Again, I'm going to assume this is going to be like Affinity. I don't know exactly if there is an Affinity deck that's different than the one I played against. So we're going to find out exactly what my opponent's doing. So far, we just got 2 Darksteel Citadels and a Springleaf Drum. As a Frogmite, we don't particularly want them to have the ability to make colored mana with their Springleaf Drum. At this point, that Frogmite means they can cast a Thought Cast for just the 1 mana from tapping Springleaf Drum and Frogmite. I don't want them to draw those cards for free, so we're going to counter that. So we got Urza's Power Plant here, not bad. I can invoke a Muldrifter now and pull some Errata back, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. We do want to draw some cards when we get some more information. It doesn't matter what order we put these triggered abilities in, because we're not going to be keeping this around. And we can pull some Errata back next turn if we want. We will have Tron assembled next turn. So we can even just play like Mnemonic Wall. I mean, we have nothing else to do, so we're just going to go ahead and pass turn. See if my opponent does anything on the end step. I highly doubt it with no colored mana, but you never know. Again, I'm not familiar with this format, so I don't know what exactly is potential. Trio Tails is interesting. I haven't seen green out of Infinity deck yet, so let's see this. So it's a 4/4 with Metalcraft for 2 mana. Not bad. That could have dropped last turn, which means we could be taking 6 this turn, which would not be great. And they're following up with another one. Okay. So what I can do here is this turn I can play Mnemonic Wall. I get a block. I'll play our Mind to make sure we have Tron. I can start Pulse Marasa, back Mnemonic Wall over and over again, which I think is what I want to do. However, getting this Muldrifter back is tempting. But I am going to do the Mnemonic Wall, I think. We don't want green. Yeah, we want blue. There we go. So we're going to get this Mnemonic Wall. We'll buy back this Remove Soul for now, but pretty much after this, we're going to be buying back a Pulse Marasa over and over again. If we can block 4 and gain 6 every time, we're going to be gaining 2 life each time. So our opponent's going to be fairly locked out. We do need, well, we do have more color sources here, but we're going to need a little bit more mana before we can actually do that in one turn. Perfect Prism, okay. So my opponent wants to draw some cards. They want to fix their mana a bit more. That's cool. So it looks like it's, I don't know if this is mono green Infinity. I have to assume it's probably at least green-red. Opponent has another Carapace. Oh, Psychotog. That would have been nice to have Remove Soul up still. So this is one of the unfortunate parts about this deck is you can assemble Tron fairly easily, but one of the big issues is having access to colored mana. So next turn we're probably going to play this Thornwind Falls just to set us up for next turn. We can get some type of untapped green source or untapped filter. That would be ideal because then we can Pulse Marasa and hold up Remove Soul. Or we can like get Pulse Marasa and Moment's Peace if they can tap out for a lot of, if they get a lot of artifacts in play and they get their second target online. So Perfect Prism is great here. I'm still gonna probably, so let's see, we'll have 7, 8, 9 mana. We can easily cast both of these. So I think here I'm gonna go ahead and play Thornwood Falls. I'll play this Prophetic Prism, and we'll still have enough mana to Remove Soul if we have to. We'll have enough mana to Moment's Peace and Pulse Marasa. So we'll be able to rebuy our Mnemonic Wall and Moment's Peace if they can go all in on their Psychotog. Or their Atog, I should say. So I'm going to pass until response. I have nothing else to do on my opponent on my turn. If my opponent has something to do, we'll be able to respond. Alright. Opponent's at least, so my opponent's at least 3 colors. Now that we see Synod Synod. Again, see the Synod, it might not even mean that they're a 3rd color. It could just be just another artifact land. I'll go to blocks, and then we'll cast Moment's Peace. We'll see if my opponent starts getting some damage in. Okay. So this is an attack for 11 right now. It's an attack for 13. I have a feeling my opponent might try to go on a kill. So I'm not dead yet. I'm probably going to wait. My opponent stacks 1 more artifact. I'm just going to go ahead and cast Moment's Peace then. Alright, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and just cast Moment's Peace then. We don't want to take this damage, so we're going to go ahead and Moment's Peace. My opponent did sack 2 artifacts, so that's 2 less permanents they have in play. If my opponent does have some type of counter magic here, we can always flashback Moment's Peace as well, so we don't have to worry about that. We do want to make sure we resolve this Pulse Marasa to get back our Mnemonic Wall, though. If my opponent does try to play another artifact here, we are going to, or another creature I should say, like another Atog, another Carapace, Forger, whatever they might have, we're probably going to Remove Soul that. Alright, so my opponent's making red, green. This is an Artarker's command. It's going to be really, this Moment's Peace is going to be really awkward. But Artarker's commands are rare now that I'm thinking about it, so that's not likely. We are in Pauper, which I did forget about for a second. So I'm assuming my opponent had something else to cast, but they didn't realize they were still in the damage or block step. Another Tog. I don't want my opponent to have that, so I'm going to go ahead and counter that. 1 Tog is enough, I think. I don't want them to have 2. If we start getting like bounce effects and stuff, I don't want them to be able to just Alright, Ghostly Flicker is pretty good. So I'm going to start with a Pulse. That's a blue, not a green. There we go. I'm going to get back the Mnemonic Wall here. We're going to buy back the Pulse Marasa with that. It costs that much. So we can also Ghostly Flicker here, which is pretty sweet. So Mnemonic Wall is going to get back Pulse. Okay. Yes, we're going to use that ability. Absolutely. I think I'm all set there. So I think we're in pretty good shape. For the most part, I don't think this Tog's really... Oh, another Exile Citadel. My opponent is very mana heavy. Very unfortunate for them. I'm fine taking 8. I'm going to go ahead and block the Atog. They want to deal 8 to us. I'm perfectly fine with that. In turn, I'm likely going to Ghostly Flicker to buy back the Moment's Peace so we can actually have that for 2 more activations if we need it. I might just buy back. Actually, Ghostly Flicker should buy back to the Mnemonic Wall. Okay. So I'm going to Ghostly Flicker, hit my Perfect Prism and my Mnemonic Wall here. So we can draw a card and rebuy the Ghostly Flicker. Next turn, I'll probably Pulse Marasa for this Mole Drifter. At this point, I don't know what my opponent can really do. If we can draw a Dinrova Horror, that would be great. Then we can really start getting them. Dimir Signet's close, but not quite what we're looking for. Our mana is being developed, and we have all these things available, so we're in pretty good shape right now. Another Ghostly Flicker is okay, but not really ideal. Shimmering Grotto can fix my mana pretty well, so I'm going to go ahead and play that over like the island or whatnot. Ideally, I probably should wait and see if we draw another Tron piece, but I don't know if that particularly matters. I'm going to cast this Pulse Marasa this turn, targeting my Mole Drifter. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I can make 7 mana total. So I can't use a Ghostly Flicker this turn and Mole Drifter. I just have to wait. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and pass this turn. See what my opponent does. We do have 2 Ghostly Flickers, so if we have to, we can use 1 to flicker the Mnemonic Wall, returning Remove Soul, cast Remove Soul, hitting a creature. And then we still have another Ghostly Flicker to Mnemonic Wall and Ghostly Flicker more. Love to find a second Mnemonic Wall or Dinrova Horror at this point, but at the moment we're not quite there. My opponent found another Perfect Prism. That's fine. I don't have any way to really stop that. Okay. So again, I'm going to block the Atog. I can take the 8 damage. That's not really a concern. Taking 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Taking 15 damage would be a problem, though. So we're okay with this right now. Okay. End step, we're going to go ahead and Ghostly Flicker my Mnemonic Wall, my Perfect Prism again. Mnemonic Wall is going to return the Pulse Marasa, most likely. So we do have the second Ghostly Flicker in our hand. Again, it could be worthwhile to just bring back the Moment's Peace, so we have at least 2 more casting of the Moment's Peace, but I think I want the Pulse Marasa because the 6 life a turn is probably going to be more relevant. Alright. I should well, I guess I don't really get the information before I draw the card with Perfect Prism anyway, because I'd have to choose targets. I was thinking maybe I should stack these triggers opposite so I can draw a card, but then Mnemonic Wall has to have a target before that, so it doesn't really matter. But our opponent's I would say our opponent is fairly locked out at this point. Once we can get this Mole Drifter back in play too, we can put Mole Drifter in play, Mnemonic Wall back in play, and we can keep Ghostly Flickering our Mnemonic Wall and Mole Drifter, so we can block 2 creatures a turn. Not quite enough at this moment, but we're doing pretty good. I'm going to play this tower out, because again, we want extra mana. Let's see. I will go ahead and play this Mole Drifter. I'm going to hard cast it. But now that we can flicker out our Mole Drifter, and our Namak Wall, we can actually start drawing a lot of cards. Hopefully eventually get to a point where our opponent can't do anything about it. Okay. So we already played a land. Pulse Morass is just in our hand for now. We're going to have to go ahead and pass. We can at least use Mole Drifter to block their Atog, use Namak Wall to block a Carapace Forger. So we're going to block the Atog. We're going to force them to sacrifice something. If they do something before damage, I'll likely Ghostly Flicker both my creatures. Okay, they did. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to Ghostly Flicker. We don't want to lose our Mole Drifter and our Namak Wall. Alright, we're going to do this. Ghostly Flicker, these two. Pay that. Okay. So we're going to draw 2 more cards. We'll get our Ghostly Flicker back. Taking this much extra damage, 4 damage a turn, we are going to have to do something else as well. Just realized my volume was coming through the wrong thing, so hopefully that wasn't bad. Let's get back Ghostly Flicker. I do have extra mana, so I can actually Ghostly Flicker again if I'd like. So I might actually do that. Yeah, we'll use that ability. So we're going to go ahead and do that again. Just going to try and draw all the cards, draw into things that we want. Okay. Yes, we'll use the ability. Okay. There's a Dinrova horse. Now we're in better shape. Now we can actually start answering my opponent's board and whatnot, which is great news for us. Okay. End step. I don't think there's particularly anything we want to do here. We could Pulse Morass, but we don't have any targets for it, so we'll say okay. Alright, now it's our turn. We have another tower. That's great. More mana the merrier. We'll do this Dimir Signet to lock in our blue-black. We'll get our Dinrova Horror out there. We're still able to pulse and get back to Dinrova Horror and recast if they have counter for it. I'm going to get rid of one of these Millcraft things. It's possible I should just be getting rid of like some of their lands and whatnot, but I'm not sure if my opponent doesn't realize that they're pretty much dead at this point. I don't know if my opponent could have some weird tricks or something that kills us. Galvanic Blast that, you say. Okay, well, we're going to ruin your day. We're going to go ahead and Ghostly Flicker. I'll pay mana for that activation. Well, we're going to Ghostly Flicker these 2 cards. And you better hope you have more. So for whatever reason we do lose our Dinrova Horror here, we will just get it back anyway with a Pulse Marassa. I believe we still have the mana to actually recast it as well. What was that? Okay. Not sure why they're sacrificing somebody to a Tog right now. Okay. They have something like a Fling? Is that a thing here? So far the deck's been fairly more miserable to me than my opponents. I'm assuming my opponent has a fling here. I can't picture out why else they make a huge Atog. We do have a Pulse of Marassa, so we can end up at 15. They can make 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're actually not even dead if they sack their board and they try to fling us. We're not even dead. I don't know if my opponent forgot that we have a Pulse of Marassa, or if they're just hoping that we don't realize it. And yes, the Unseen, I appreciate you coming out. Were you the one that originally had mentioned this deck? So far, the deck's kind of cool. I'm not huge on it, but it's fine. I mean, I've had fun with it so far, I will say. We're going to cast Pulse Marassa. So I have to target something from my opponent's graveyard. I'm fine targeting their Frogmite. And then I gain 6 lives. So I actually just don't die this swing, and now my opponent has basically no board. But at this point, once if they have Galvanic Blast targeting me and then did that, they would have killed me. Well, I guess that Ghostly Flicker still would have brought back my Pulse rather than a Ghostly Flicker, which would have been unfortunate, but... Alright, so we beat Affinity right there. We got a game 2 against them. Vanguard Marauder seems good if my opponent's going to be on the sack stuff to a Tog and then fling it. Ancient Grudge seems fine, obviously. Dispel could be okay. I don't know if I'm 100% on to having Dispel. Prohibits are okay. Remove Souls. I feel like that might be a little slow. So I'm going to drop Remove Souls. I don't know if I want Condescend either, though. Like, I think Prohibit's just better than Condescend. So I'm gonna keep these Seagate Oracles in as much as I'm not huge fan of them. I think we'll bring in the no, that's not what we want. Last time I brought in Ulamog's Crusher against an Infinity style deck, and I think that might be correct. So we're gonna try that. Everything else here seems fine. Like on the draw, it might be correct to remove Prohibits. On the play, I think keeping them is on the play it's probably correct, but I'm gonna try this out. I like the Prohibits over the Dispels. Dispel's pretty much just going to hit Fling and like Galvanic Blast. Hitting Fling obviously is good. I don't know if hitting Galvanic Blast is really that great. So we're not going to do anything. We're not going to do that. What is this? We have one Tron piece. We have at least 2 mana with Perfect Prisms. We have some Mull Drifters. I'm going to keep this. We have Mull Drifters. Yeah, I mean we got stuff going on here. It's not like we have nothing, but I'm not really excited for this hand. Living Weapon. Okay. Flare's Husk is a living weapon that's a 1/1 germ. Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna have 6 because we're not gonna be responding to anything on this first turn. If our opponent has other things to do, I mean there's not much we can do about it. No Disrupting Shoal, no Forcible in this format. Alright, so we got things built. We got things like they're basically ready to go. We're going to lead on the Guild Gate here and pass. So if we can build our mana, we have plenty of things to do. We will have to build our mana. Hoping to start drawing more Tron pieces. So next turn we'll probably just play Power Plant, play Perfect Prism, hopefully draw into another Tron piece. Yep, we're going to take 1. It's fine. 1 damage is fine. Expedition map seems pretty good. I think that's probably what I want to play here. This ensures we get a 3rd land drop. It also ensures we get another Tron piece. I'd like to see what Tron piece we get. I'd like to see if we draw a Tron piece next turn. I'd love to see which one it is so we can get another one, but we might end up just having to crack this map and just getting a blind Tron piece. Probably just grab Tower and hope to draw mine. Okay. Okay. My opponent's building up some mana, which is pretty good for them. And building up some artifacts, which is great for them. Love to draw an Ancient Grudge at this point. Being able to answer this Carapace Forger would be awesome as well. Hoping that this isn't going to be too fast of a start for us to keep up with. Again, they do have like Galvanic Blast and okay, so we found an Urza's Mines. Now we know we just need Tower. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Get our Tower on. Pass. Hopefully we're not just dead. See what happens. They have another way to make a red mana. Okay, that's a great furnace. So if they have a Tog and Fling in their hand, they could just kill us this turn. So we're going to take 3, 7, go to 7. A Tog stacks a bunch of artifacts, and they fling it to kill us. So if that's the case, we are just dead. That's not the case. We're still in a little bit of rough shape. So I play Tower, I can make 7, 8. I go down to 6. Filter. So I can actually cast this Dinrova Horror, but I don't know if it's good enough. Galvanic Blast is pretty good. One more Galvanic Blast, we are in fact dead. So it might have been correct to bring in Dispels. Yeah, so they had another Galvanic Blast. So that's something we're going to have to watch out for. I'm going to bring in Dispels for that reason. Actually, we're on the play now, so I think Prohibits are probably just good. The Remove Soul I'm going to bring back in. Ulamog's Crusher I still think is fine. It might not be, but I still think Ulamog's Crusher is okay. So I need to cut one card. I don't know if I can cut a Bog. Being at 22 lands I think is probably okay, but I don't know if cutting a Bog is correct because our opponent doesn't really have anything that looks like it's out of their graveyard. But again, not familiar with this format, so I could just be crazy. I might not know what I'm talking about. I'm going to cut a Bog. Having a Bog for mana is like okay because again we do have like black in our Dinrova Horror, but I don't think we need the 23rd land. Here we don't draw any lands, so I might have been incorrect on that. We have one land. We don't with a Scry. We might get there, but I'm not huge on keeping a one land Tron deck. I'm gonna have to mulligan again, I believe. If I'm making glaring errors, please feel free to correct me. Tron piece, card, draw spell, Moment's Peace. I'll keep this. Map seems great. We'll start in the Stonewood Falls. And we'll pass. We'll draw a map. Likely play the map. Could be correct to play Prophetic Prism first. I don't know if playing map right off the bat matters, but we would want to make sure we have our third land drops. I think playing map next is just correct. Right, players is mine. We'll tap a colors for Expedition map. Pass. So we're going to hope to draw another Tron piece before we use this map again. Last game was nice when we drew a Tron piece before we drew a map, but see what happens this game. Opponent plays a Springleaf Drum. They didn't play a land first. They might still have a land in hand. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but oh, that's my opponent not have another land. Okay, so my opponent kept something that obviously has interaction, and we found a power plant. So we're doing a good job at this. We're doing a good job at finding our Tron pieces before we crack our map. So that's pretty awesome. This is actually the most consistent I've seen Tron out of this deck so far. We need the tower, so we're gonna grab the tower. We're gonna pass turn. Oh, what kind of hand does Affinity keep when they know they don't have a second land? That's a Frogmite, okay. Just very curious. They obviously drew land, or they just missed their land drop. Which doesn't quite make sense because they did stop at their second main and then passed. Alright. So here we can play our Tron piece and play an Ulamog's Crusher. Our opponent has access to 0 mana currently, so we're not worried about any type of counter magic or whatnot. So I think that's where we're going to go here. We're going to go ahead and jam that. Bad Larry. Ulamog's Crusher should make quick work of this game. Okay. So we had almost natural Tron plus a land, which gives us 8 mana on turn 4, which is great. Actually, if our opponent goes a Tog and they try to threaten the Pump a Bunch and block our Crusher, we can actually Moment's Peace to make our Crusher survive and leave them with basically 0 board. Attacking is awfully... So my opponent could be threatening Galvanic Blast here, which I don't want to just lose my Ulamog's Crusher to that. So we are going to pass. We're going to just take this 4 because we are at 7. We'll be at 17, which is fine. We have time. We're going to gain a life from our Thorn Falls. We'll have Moment's Peace up, so we won't just die to combat for them. Let's play this Prophetic Prism, see what we draw. Hopefully we draw something yummy. Dinrova Horror wouldn't be bad. That's okay as well, I guess. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and attack. We have to. Don't have a choice. They're going to have to sacrifice 2 things. If they do have Block plus Galvanic Blast, we could Moment's Peace before, hopefully they do that before damage. If we do it after damage, we're probably in deep. Okay. Opponent sacrificing 2 things. Opponent didn't respond to that, so they sacrifice a Darksteel Citadel and a Frogmite. Love to have an Ancient Grudge right now. Shatter the Springleaf Drum and the Chromatic Blade. Probably shatter like Springleaf Drum, Mirror Enforcer. I almost feel like I have to cast Moment's Peace here because my opponent. I feel like my opponent having Galvanic Blast is fairly likely. Huh. I have 4 Moment's Peace casts available currently, so I'm actually fine doing this. I don't know if this is correct, but Annihilator 2 I think is good enough. And I don't want to just lose my Ulamog's Crusher to a block plus Galvanic Blast. So I'm fine just kind of slowly wrathing my opponent's board doing this. Again, if anyone finds this to be like glaringly wrong or whatnot, please by all means let me know. Ancient Grudge on my Prophetic Prism. Ooh, and they have a flashback on that, which doesn't matter currently, but that's still it's a good card. I wish I could find my Ancient Grudge. Another artifact, another Frogmite. My opponent has cast 2 Thought Casts, so given the fact this is Affinity, like this Annihilator 2 plan might be a little loose. But we are 18 life. They're just attacking us with 1/4/4. Not too worried about that. Attacking us with 2 4/4s. Okay. I think I can take 8 here. That's fine. I can go to 10. We do have 3 more Moment's Peace we can cast, so we're still in fine shape as far as that goes. Seems nicely prudent, to be honest. You're in a controlling position. Yeah. I feel like I'm in a good spot, but we're going to cycle this remote island, get some more information before we get to our attack. Crop rotation's not bad. Crop rotate for another Tron piece, which is really, it seems like the most relevant. But we're going to go ahead and go to attacks. Love to find an Ancient Grudge right now. Although I guess we need another filter before we can do that. So I can like crop rotate for Shimmering Grotto. So you get that filter. So here, Galvanic Blast plus a block isn't enough to kill my Ulamog's Crusher. So we are going to probably just get rid of 2 permanents. If not 3. If my opponent has 2 Galvanic Blasts, that's going to be really unfortunate. Alright, they're going for our face on that one. That's interesting. They're not going to be able to kill us with an attack because we do have these 3 potential Moment's Pieces. It's possible I should have boarded in the Radiant Fountain randomly, but I don't know. I don't think that's correct. Okay. So my opponent is now locked off red. So if our opponent finds any more burn spells, they can't get us. And again, we have 3 Moment's Peace we can cast at this point, so we're not going to be dead to attacks for at least a couple turns. And the Annihilator 2 on this Ulamog's Crusher should be enough to get us there. Wait for my opponent to declare all their attackers. Flashback Moment's Peace. Event my opponent has a counter magic. I'm going to hardcast this one. And then we still have the mana to flashback just by paying 1 green. Okay, yeah, you got a Dispel. Cool. That's fine. And that way I don't have to overtap or anything like that, so... I mean, it doesn't really matter if I overtap. Like, there's no such thing as mana burn anymore, which is great. So yeah, my opponent used a Dispel for nothing. We still have another turn we can fog with Moment's Peace. And we're going to wipe 2 more permanents this turn. And 2 more permanents next turn. So they'll be down to 1 creature. I would love to find an Ancient Grudge here. Okay. So we're going to go to combat again. Don't have a choice. I think my opponent's probably going to sacrifice Frogmite and a Tree of Tails. They probably want to keep the blue mana up to be able to counter our Moment's Peace on this turn. I feel like on their upkeep, I'm probably going to want to cast this Moment's Peace. I don't think that's correct, though. I don't know what my opponent could possibly have in hand. I feel like before they get a chance to draw another Dispel, we might want to just cast it. That might be loose, though. My opponent has exactly 6 here, so we do have to cast this Moment's Peace. We don't have a choice. Okay. My opponent has another Dispel. I guess they just have it. That happens. I can actually crop rotate for another Thornwood Falls to gain 1 life to buy us 1 more turn, which still won't be enough because we will need to find a way to destroy creatures. Okay. This piece. My opponent floated mana. I didn't do anything with it, so that's interesting. Assuming my opponent meant to cast a Dispel, but then missed it. So looks like opponent conceded. So we won that match in 3 games. Sounds good. We're going to get right into our next match. So we won our first game by having Mnemonic Wall, Dinrova Horror, and Ghostly Flicker. So that was fun. We won the third game by just going turn 4, 8/8, Taxi Churn if able, Annihilator 2. So we're doing this the way that good old Emrakul intended us to do this. We have Natural Tron, we have a Filter, and we have Moment's Peace. We also have an additional Tron piece and a Dinrova Horror. I can't picture a much better hand for us to keep. Well, I mean, there's probably like Mull Drifters and stuff that could be in here that makes this hand better. But I'm fine with this. I got Natural Tron, so that makes me happy. I got a Moment's Peace if we're taking an early aggressive. This is Elves. Moment's Peace is going to be real good. Oh yeah, this is probably Elves. So Moment's Peace is going to be great here. I'm kind of concerned that Tron and our Dinrova Horror is going to be a little slow. I will start with Nurse's Mine here, though. In this match, it's probably going to be best to just assemble Tron as fast as possible. The opponent's going to punch us for 2 here, and then play another card, play a green card so they can untap it. So that way they can punch next turn. It's lovely. It doesn't untap unless you cast a green spell. Virtual Rangers, that's a good card. This can get a little fun here. They could cast Elvish Visionary here, untap Nettle Sentinel, tap Nettle Sentinel, Elvish Visionary, cast another 1-mana spell. Priest of Titania, that's real good. Yeah. And they can tap these 2 to play another 1-mana if they have it or want it. Thunder Elves, that's pretty cool. I can even get 1 more if they want. Right? Or 2 more, I guess. If they have 2 more 1-mana elves. Well then, that's a start. Yeah, so Condescend's not online currently, and Trimming Grotto's not particularly online to filter at this moment. So I'm going to play another Tron piece. I'll just say go. We do have natural Trons, so there's really not too many reasons for us not to just go ahead for it and get Tron out. Condescend's turned off pretty bad now because that Priest of Titania. There's not really a spell that's going to counter, but Electricity is going to be great here. So I guess that's what the Electricity and the sideboards are for. Forgot about the fact Elves is pretty much all X1s. We're going to take 3, 4 here. Okay. Okay. Well-Wisher. That's going to be a problem, most likely. Timberwatch Elves. That could definitely be a problem. Elvish Mystic. Okay. So that's their hand. So let's see. So Electricity Postboard is going to mean 1, 2 creatures, maybe 3 creatures we don't kill when we cast one of those. Alright. So here we're definitely going to need some of this filtering. Next turn we'll be able to play our last Tron piece. But we're going to need to keep this Moment's Peace up for next turn because anyway, they tap, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So they have exactly 14 on board currently. If they swing with everything but the Timberwatch Elves and tap Timberwatch Elves to pump something. So we're definitely going to need these activations of Moment Piece the next couple turns. I would love another filter. I would love another card to filter some mana. Okay. Okay. Only going to cast this Moments Piece if they try to do this. I'm assuming they will, because that is exact, but... Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do this now. I don't want to die. I don't know about all of you. I don't know if you all want to watch me die, but I don't want to die. So we're going to cast this Moment Piece. Okay. 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 Let's do this. All right, we're going to play this tower. And I don't have any way to filter out more mana, so I'm going to have to hold up for this Moments Piece, unfortunately. With the Seagate Oracle, I can block 1 elf, but they've played 1 or 2 more elves. That means I'm still just dead to this Timberwatch activation to whatever creature I don't block. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to pass here. Would have loved to Perfect Prism a little bit earlier in this game, but the hand was a little greedy against... If we had known we were against elves, that hand was very greedy to keep, but we didn't know we were against elves until now. I could top like a Mull Drifter, that'd be great. I don't honestly know if we can actually beat this deck at this point. I think we're a little too slow main board for this. Like, our 2 Electricities are great. What else on the sideboard would be great? I don't think there's really anything else on the sideboard that matters. Okay. So our opponent's not casting spells. There's really no reason for them to. This attack, even with the Timberwatch Elves, doesn't actually kill us. So we might not even want 2 Moments Piece here. We might want to save it until on attack. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it'll be 8, 9, 10, 11. So we go to 3 here. I don't know if we can actually afford to do. So like next turn I can Dinrova Horror to bounce the Timberwatch Elves, which puts us further out of lethal. That's a little too much mana, I guess. Horror on that Timberwatch will be pretty back. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm glad we're in agreement. Okay. So yeah, that would have been 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't think we can win from 3, but I think at 14, Dinrova Horror on that Timberwatch Elf, I do agree. I think that might be enough where we should be able to get them. I would love to be able to... blue, black... I have 1 mana too much for this. Oh, that's fine. As long as we answer that Timberwatch Elves, that's what matters. So I could have just not tapped tower and everything else would have paid for that. So we're here with this Timberwatch Elves. This Well-Wisher is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt for us, but not much we can do about that. We're going to have to... This is going to be the slow grind. Hopefully, Vines of Vastwood. Oh, shit. Well, that's not good. Yeah. Okay, so I think we're just dead now, right? So we can block 1 elf. So we can block 1 elf. And if they have... We get at least a turn to block. And we have another Dinrova Horror. They're going to have another Vines of Vastwood to kill us, though. I still think... Yeah, I think even if we take like 1 big hit from one of these Timberwatch Elves, I think we're still in a position where we're just dead. So I don't know if it's going to matter. Vines of Vastwood is pretty good. At this point, I think we need to chain like Dinrova Horror, not have Vines hit us. We have to chain like Dinrova Horror with like Ghostly Flicker. Is that what that card's called? Ghostly Flicker? I don't remember. I think at this point that's what we'd have to do in order to actually survive this board. Yeah, I think that Elvish Mystic might be enough to just kill us. 2, 3... Oh, 8. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Assuming they're not using all 8. Oh, okay, they're getting a lot more elves. Okay. Those are revealed cards. Is that it? So they got a Priest of Titania. What the hell is this? Why are you casting us? Yeah, I think we're pretty dead. I feel like Lissalana probably comes down here. Yeah. They make some elves. Alright, so this is good knowledge. I got knowledge. I don't need to sit here and keep doing this. We're dead. I have knowledge for next game, which is nice. So, bring the electrickeries, obviously. So, like, the dispels, I don't feel like are relevant for the Vines of Aspert. Hydroblast obviously does nothing. Radiant Fountain could pad our life total a little bit. Again, Radiant Fountain with like Ghostly Flicker and a Mock Wall, that could be a way to slowly just gain a bunch of life back. So I'll try that for the Bajuka Bog. So given the way that went, I think Prohibits and Removal Souls are fine on the play, but on the draw, I think they're going to be bad. Condescends feel like they're never going to be relevant, so I'm going to cut those. We really just need to resolve these electricities, is what it comes down to. Everything else here seems fine. I don't think I want to change anything else. I would love to play first. Thank you for asking. Double Mind's not great. We don't have any colored mana to cast anything else. We're going to have to mulligan this, unfortunately. Shimmering Grotto is the filtering that we need. Crop rotation can mean we get to find other Tron pieces. Power plant. I mean, I need more mana, so a second power plant, not great, but it's better than nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Elvish Mystic, okay. Yep. You got it. So Counter Magic at the moment is kind of silly, just because we don't really have a way to use any of it. I'm tempted to crop rotate out the Shimmering Grotto for like another Tron piece, but we don't know what Tron piece we're going to need yet. So we're going to probably want to hold the crop rotation up for when we actually know what we need. Karen Ranger is real good. My opponent can make 3 more mana if they want. Now they can make even more than that. Yeah. Yeah, worst case on this hand, I can rotate for a second Tron piece. I would like to find what Tron piece I can draw before I rotate, but... Yep. So making 3 mana now. Timberwatch Elves. That card is so annoying. This is where I would love to have a Remove Soul in the hand. Can't always get what you want, though. As said by Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. Okay. So I can't say anything because my monitor decided to turn off. Let's see here. So my opponent's not doing anything. I gotta have a second monitor with this up. Mystical Teachings can be a good way to find like electricity, but we will need to get to the mana in order to cast it. This isn't pretty. I almost feel like I might want to crop rotate the Shimmering Grotto out for one of our dual lands. So that way I can cast the Mystical Teachings, but this isn't great right now. Shimmering Grottos are pretty bad when you don't Tron up from what I'm looking at right now. So the deck runs 3 Shimmering Grotto and 4 Prophetic Prisms, so it's got like 1 Dimir Signet, so it's got a lot of filtering, which obviously requires you to, you're basically down a mana as a result from filtering. Ooh, that's gonna get big real quick. Sweet. So I'm not. So I'm fine with like the Tron pieces and whatnot, but like the filtering when you don't have Tron, it's kind of miserable. My opponent now has enough large creatures where Electricity alone is not going to get us there. We need to like double Electricity, which we can't do. What am I doing? Another Elvish Vanguard. Okay, that's yeah. This guy's getting pretty big. This little elf here. She? No, that looks like a guy. Might be wrong. Oh boy. So my opponent's just trying to go wide right now. Really wish I had Tron assembled. So if I crop rotate away power plant for mine, we find a tower. I'd be in much better shape than I currently am, but okay, we know my opponent's hand is at least one forest. We're likely going to attack with this Elvish Mystic, pumped by Timberwatch Elves. So I wish Mazavith was a common. That'd be great. Okay. Effect Prism, not great. It is filtering, and it is going to be card draw, so I'm fine casting that. I think we're just dead, though. Like, I don't... Not drawing, like, Electricity, I think we're just dead against... Yeah, there's another power plant, so that's not really ideal. Yeah, we're taking a lot of damage next turn. I don't think we're just dead. This deck... I don't know how this deck is against elves, but this feels like... This feels miserable. We're going to see what my opponent does. My opponent doesn't go for overkill. They just go for like a quick attack, kill me. I can crop rotate for a Radiant Fountain. Gain a couple life to buy another turn, but I don't think that really gets us anywhere. I think we are just dead. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there's 6 elves I can pump, or 7 elves I can pump for us. That's 15. Yeah, we just did. Yeah, this is feeling miserable. I think elves is going to be a very bad matchup. I think we're going to need more... I think this deck needs more sweepers for stuff like this. I've actually had multiple matches that I've played against in practicing where this deck needs sweepers and you just have 2 Electricity. I don't know if the person that piloted this to 5-0 just got lucky, didn't need sweepers when they played it, or what, but I don't know. Yeah, we just did. You got it. You saw the line of just simply pump one of your creatures to kill us, so we lose. I don't know what sweepers are available on Pauper other than like Trickery. So I know there's like Crypt Rats, but this deck doesn't make enough black mana consistently to actually use a Crypt Rats. I'm trying to think if there's any like blue cards that are commons that sweep, but I don't think there are. Is Washout a common? Because the Washout might not be bad, because I found myself able to get to 4 mana on this deck against elves, both games, but I haven't found myself to be able to get to, you know, multiple black mana for something like Crypt Rats. So, I mean, the last game, if they didn't have Vines of Vastwood, we might have won. Yeah, Echoing Truth, like Echoing Truth would have been okay. They had a couple of like doubles, like they had 2 of the Elvish Vanguard, which might have been enough to buy us turns, but we also weren't getting Tron assembled there anyway. Mnemonic Wall, Ghostly Flicker, 2 Moments Peace, 1 Tron piece, a couple of our lands. Yeah, I'll keep this. Yeah, like another thing too is if there was like some type of like mass bounce effect or whatnot, like Moments Peace can buy you time early in the game, and then a mass bounce effect can help you later in the game. I don't know if there's any real mass bounce effect. Alright, we're against Burn, which I'm assuming what Rift Bolt means we're against Burn. I have not played this yet, so it should be interesting. I do have stuff like Moments Peace. I don't believe they have access to Price of Progress. I think it's just Fire Blast for them. Just thinking like compared to a Legacy Burn. But they do have all the bolts still, so that can be tough. So I'm going to play the Simic Guildgate here, so we don't have to worry about any more tap lands coming in. If I had multiple Tron pieces, I'd just play the Tron piece out. Might have been correct to play the Tron piece out anyways, because we draw runner Tron pieces. We're going to want to get that symbol as soon as possible. Alright, so just another Urza's Mine. So my opponent has played 2 bolts thus far. Black has Echoing Decay. Oh, Nausea and Shrivel are pretty good, yeah. Huh. I wonder if those are possible to come in this deck. Echoing Decay, Nausea, Shrivel. I saw there's like Pestilence is legal in this format, but it's like 2 and 2 black, and then once creatures die, once creatures dies, it isn't a problem against elves because you can wipe out their creatures. You're in pretty good shape. Thermo Alchemist, okay. Huh. Notice my opponent missed a land drop as well. Yeah, Echoing Decay seems pretty good against elves. Like Echoing Decay hit all your Timberwatch elves seems pretty good. Yep, still short on Tron pieces at the moment, so we're just gonna play this one out. We'll need to draw. Hopefully, we will draw another another land next turn because we're gonna need more land as well. Second Ghostly Flicker, 2 Moments Peace, and yeah, we're not in great shape at the moment as far as our land meta base is concerned. Needle Drop deals 1 damage to target creature, player that's dealt damage this turn, draw a card. Okay. So Needle Drop is basically like a 2nd damage off Thermo and draws a card, so it can draw into another Bolt. So they're almost like playing 56 cards. Seems fine. Right, Thermo, here comes another Bolt in the form of Chain Lightning. This would be nice if we had our filter effects here. We could actually filter out mana to Chain Lightning back to the Thermo Alchemist. So that's actually something to think about as well for future. So we might want to keep hands that actually include the ability to do that. Hey, thanks for cheering me on for streaming. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. Alright. One more mana gives us a Mnemonic Wall. It doesn't feel like my opponent has any. Oh, the Mystical Teachings is not bad. Okay, the Mystical Teachings for Pulse Marasa. I might want to wait on that. So my opponent doesn't see it coming. But I don't know if them not seeing it coming is really going to be all that relevant. Okay, so this untaps regularly as well. That's pretty good. My opponent still has 4 cards in hand. That seems pretty. And we're at 8 life. That's pretty brutal. Oh, land. Okay. Oh, Chain Lightning. I really wish I could filter out mana for that. Okay. Okay. We're gonna go 4 here. Essentially 3. My opponent having even 1 more Bolt kills us. Actually, even a Shock kills us here because it untaps this. I think we're just dead here. Actually, wait, that's exactly 4. So we're gonna Ghostly Flicker on our Thornwood Falls. That's enough to save us here, unfortunately. Although, all right, this is pretty weak, but I'm gonna. I really want a Mystical Teachings to go get Pulse Marasa, but I don't think we're just gonna be dead anyways. I think, right? Yeah, we're just gonna die here. Not much we can do. All right, so that was pretty rough draw. Hydroblast seems great. Dispel seems fine. Radiant Fountain seems awesome. Finger Marauder could be good, but I don't see us sacrificing artifacts or enchantments I don't see us sacrificing artifacts to get actual value off that, since we don't really have artifacts that are going to sacrifice. Remove Soul seems weak here. Prohibits seem okay. Moment's Peace actually seems really bad. I don't know if they run aggressive creatures at all. I'm going to drop the Moment's Peace from what I saw. If I'm still sideboarding and someone realizes how absolutely wrong that is, please, by all means, let me know. But I think I'm all done. I think this is everything I want to do. Condescend seems good because they seem pretty tight on mana. We could just Condescend a spell. Like if their 2nd or 3rd spell turn, we can Condescend Scry 2 to set up our next couple draw steps. Seagate Oracles don't seem like they're really relevant here, but they're still digging to something else that could be relevant, so that's fine. Crop Rotates can go get Radiant Fountains, so can Expedition Mats. Prohibit can counter their spells. Yeah. Given what I saw, again, if we have something with a lot of filter mana early, that'd be great. It's like a couple Perfect Prisms are going to be awesome. This is absolute garbage with no lands. This is fine. We have Tron Piece, land, Expedition Map, so that's pretty good. Condescend, Prohibit. We're going to keep this. Ghostly Flicker, I think we just want on bottom. Right? I don't see Ghostly Flicker really doing much for us early, and we're going to shuffle anyway. We'll start with the Thornwind Falls. We'll gain some life, and we'll pass turn. If we draw land next turn, we're probably just going to hold up for Prohibit or Condescend. Yeah. Hydroblast is not bad, so we're going to go ahead and play Tower, play Map. We'll probably Hydroblast that Rift Bolt on its way down. Having double Mnemonic Wall with a Ghostly Flicker and Hydroblast seems pretty good. That'd be fun. But yeah, we're just gonna Hydroblast this. Counter target spells, right, there you go. See if I can make their land red and just kill that, but it's fine. Are they gonna Pyroblast back? Oh my god, my opponent boarded in Pyroblast. Or do they really think they were gonna need if Pyroblast is just less bolts in their deck, isn't that just bad? Am I wrong? That seems interesting. Okay, that's fine. Wow. Another Urza land, that's great and all, but I really want different Urza lands. I will go get a mine here. I would have loved to draw a mine or power plant so I'd have more information on what we actually need, but beggars can't be choosers. We have Tron lands. We have lands. We're getting there. So, what is this? This is 1 damage each opponent. Okay. That's okay. That's not great for us. I probably should have just. I did play this land for turn, so I guess holding up map probably might have not been great, but Prophetic Prism seems good. Tap mine and falls. Play Prophetic Prism. We still have the ability to, if we don't draw a different Tron piece, we still have the ability to play our second Urza's Tower and still filter. Oh, another mine. Come on, really? We still have the ability to filter out for a Prohibit on this next turn. If our opponent taps exactly 2 mana for something, we can also Condescend it. So we can get the Scry 2 going, which would be nice. Yeah, we don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and counter that. My opponent has another Pyroblast. That's going to feel real bad, but we're going to at least try and stop Curse of the Pierce Heart from hitting us. Okay, so our Prohibit resolved, which is good. We're at 16 from this trigger. It's going to be 4 more damage. We're at 12. This is going to attack for 2. It shouldn't be able to attack when it has an ability like that. That seems like real good. That seems like a great card for burn when it's a 2-power attacker and it triggers every time you cast the burn to, basically turn into a bolt every time. Or I don't know, 4 mana. What's 4 mana? What's a 1 mana 4 damage spell? Okay. Opponent is tapped out. Another Hydroblast, not bad. I'm going to start with a Forbidden Alchemy here. I'm going to hopefully find a power plant. Ideally, that's what we want here. We need the mana. And then our Condescend's pretty live. No power plant, but a Pulse Marassa is pretty good as well. Sucks that we have to get rid of Mold Drifters, but that gives us a target for Pulse Marassa, so that's great. I don't know if my opponent's... we don't have enough mana to do that yet, though. So I don't know if my opponent's going to have some type of Skullcrack effect. So right now we can hold up Hydroblast for 1 blue or Condescend for X equals 1. So if my opponent taps exactly out, we can do the Condescend stuff for next couple draws. Hopefully find a power plant, because I really need one right now. I can't filter enough to counter that, so I think basically at this point, any bolt is something we want to Hydroblast. Might have actually just been correct to just, on our turn, Hydroblast the Firebrand Archer. Okay, Magma Jet, that's cool. I'll take 2 instead of 3. It's fine. So we're going to take 1 more, go to 6 here. We're going to take 2, go to 4, and then we can... if my opponent has Fire Blast, we're just dead. Which I think is going to be what happens here. So if we got hit by Chain Lightning, we'd be at 1. We wouldn't be dead Fire Blast, we can just counter it. But if my opponent has Fire Blast here, we're very dead. Alright, my opponent has all the burn, they have all the burn. Again, this seems like another tough matchup that explains the 3 Hydroblasts on the sideboard. I probably could have played that a little bit more carefully, but getting another Tron piece there would have also significantly changed the tide of the match. Having double tower, double mine is not good enough. Yeah, I mean, it happens. I don't particularly like losing the burn. I don't have much respect for burn. I respect burn a lot. I always have sideboard for it. And I'm always prepared for it, but I don't like burn as a deck, personally. It's just not really my style. Red's probably one of my least favorite colors in Magic. It's pretty close for green. I play a lot of Bug. I play a lot of, black-green and stuff like that, but mostly just because you get access to cards like Abrupt Decay. When I play Legacy and Modern and whatnot, having access to cards like Abrupt Decay, Tarmogoyf, Maelstrom Pulse, things of that nature, Pernicious Deed, I find great. Green I'm not generally a fan of otherwise. I don't really like the idea of just playing big dumb creatures, really, or a bunch of creatures, then make big creatures. And then throwing fire, like burn, I'm not huge on. I like red when it's paired with black, like Kolaghan's Command, Dreadbore, Lightning, Terminate, cards like that. So I'm on the draw. I have 2 Expedition maps, which if I find another land, will be in decent shape, I think. But I need to have another land. I don't think I can take the chance here. If I knew what my opponent was on, I might take the chance, but I don't think I can take this chance. Yeah, we're just going to mulligan. I think this is way too sketchy. This needs a green source badly, but we're going to keep it because we have Multi Drifter. 2 Tron pieces, island, crop rotation. We have a Mole Drifter that can dig. Condescend can dig us deep as well. Oh my god, this is going to be another burn deck. Please tell me it's not going to be another burn deck. I can't stand burn. Burn drives me crazy. Alright, play this island. Say go. Oh, burn. Another burn deck. Okay. Well, now I have more experience against burns. That helps. Needle drop. Oh man, when Needle drops a card, you're actually running in your burn deck. Ugh. Hopper is a silly format. I will say that's that much. I'm gonna go ahead and just like pass. I want to be able to condescend a spell if they try to cast. It might be incorrect to not just play Perfect Prism there, because then Perfect Prism gives me the ability to just build Tron and whatnot, but I think that holding up Condescend is possibly correct if my opponent tries to go 2 mana for like a Thermal Alchemist or whatnot. And they didn't. Okay. That'll just show me, I guess. Yeah, so we're kind of in the same position. Like, we know they have a Rift Bolt suspended, so that would be a 13 damage. They have 3 cards in hand. If 2 of those are bolts, that puts us to 7. If one of them's a Fire Blast, that puts us to 4. Or 3, excuse me. So I think I have to hold up this Prophetic Prism. I think I have to hold up Condescend to not just die. I really want to cast this Crop Rotate and go get Tron Piece and have Perfect Prism up, but I don't think... That'll leave us with 2 mana up, which doesn't matter because it's colorless mana. I don't think we can do that. I think I have to hold up for Condescend. Oh, this blows. This is turn 3, so we just play our land. So I'd love to be able to hold up use Pulse Marassa here, but I think we gotta hold up the counter magic, so we're gonna go ahead and just pass until response. If I can counter at least 1 bolt, we'll be in very good shape. Alright, what are you doing here? Magma Jet. So I don't want my opponent to be able to fix their mana, so I'm going to go ahead and condescend that. I don't know what kind of weird tricks my opponent could have, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it all for two. I don't think there could be any tricks where my opponent randomly can make red mana without like Simian Spirit Guide or anything like that, so and they don't get access to that. So we have Tron Piece on top, which is great. We also have Prohibit on top, which is not bad either. So we're going to put Prohibit on top. We'll put Power Plant on top of that. So I'll be able to draw a Power Plant, play a Prism. We could even evoke a Mole Drifter, draw the Prohibit. So it's not bad. Alright, so we're going to go 13 here. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. They didn't get the Scry 2, so they don't know what they're drawing yet. And they haven't been able to put anything on bottom that might be a land or whatnot that doesn't deal us damage. So I'm fairly happy with that at the moment. I have no responses, so I've asked 6. If we're dead, we're just dead. There's not anything we can do about that. We're not just dead, so that's great. And we now have Tron assembled, which is even better. So we're going to go ahead and place Perfect Prism. So I'm going to need to filter out green mana. We draw our Prohibit, so that's good. So now we can hold up Prohibit and Pulse Marassa. We don't have a target for Pulse Marassa currently. So we might even just have to... If we Crop Rotate, we want to have access to green, though. Interesting. So we're at 13. We have 4 cards in hand. So 3 bolts, Fire Blast can kill us. We can interact with 1 bolt, at least. So I'm going to go ahead, filter out a green. I'm going to Crop Rotate out Island for... I should probably float up blue just to be safe. I'm going to Crop Rotate out Island for a Thornwood Falls. It gives us another life. It also makes sure we have green and blue available. I would love another Tron piece, but we need the filtering right now. So I'm definitely going to be doing this. If my opponent tries to cast a spell on their end step, we do have to Prohibit up still. We can kick it if we need to. If they don't, then we untap, and then we still have Prohibit up, and we can start casting stuff like Pulse Marassa. Even if it targets Island, like that's better than, you know, nothing. Mystical Teachings is great. I'm going to go ahead and hard cast a Mole Drifter here. I think I have to hard cast a Mole Drifter here, right? No, I think evoking it's probably better. Mostly just because evoking it, because it's a better target for Pulse Marassa than a land. and we'll still draw the 2 cards. We draw another Tron piece or another like filter. That's a pretty good place to be. And we can mnemonic wall. If we can draw another Tron piece, we can mnemonic wall next turn, pull some Morass to get back a Muldrifter again. We found a tower, so that's great. Yeah, I can play in crap map. There's really no reason not to here. We're only holding up Prohibit at this point, so... Or we're not just only holding up Prohibit, we're also holding up Pulse, but... I think I want more mana and more filtering, though. I think I just want more mana. I feel like I just want to get greedy here. More filter would be nice. Yeah, I'm just going to go for more mana. I think it's correct. And we're going to pass the response. So we have Pulse Morass to gain 6 life. We don't have the second... So this is one of the reasons I'm thinking filtering is we don't have like a second colored mana currently if we're doing stuff on our turn. So we don't particularly have the ability to like Pulse Morass plus Prohibit. I can't just Pulse Morass here at the end of their turn because if we do that and my opponent starts throwing fire at us, we could just be dead. So definitely need to find some more colored mana fixing. Alright. Alright, here I'm going to go ahead and just hard cast Muldrifter. So I got to at least get some pressure on board. What's this crap? I didn't want to cast Livoke, I just want to cast it. Oh, I see what happened there. Gotcha. Oh, I didn't tap enough mana. That's the problem. Oh, boy. Alright, let's draw some more mana fixing here. Alright, so I might just be playing another Tron piece, I guess, right? Ugh. Yeah, just play another Tron piece. Wow, this is weird. Having trouble building Tron, now we're not having any trouble at all building Tron. It might be correct next time, it might actually be correct to Pulse for like an island before we do anything else. That way we know we can hold up a couple spells. Once we can Pulse Marassa with like demonic walls and stuff, we'll be in better shape as well. Lava Spike me. Okay. Like at this point I'm basically just holding up for their kill spell. Needle drop me. Okay. Firebrand Archer. We're not dead to a Fire Blast. I'm fine prohibiting this. So we're just going to cast this, target that, using that. They have double Fire Blast. We're still at 2 as well, so we're actually okay. Okay. Come on, filter. Roman Island's not really where we want to be as far as filtering goes. I will use that to draw a card, though. Dinrova Horror. Not particularly want to be right now. Alright, what am I doing here? So I'm going to Pulse. Getting back. Did I just play a land? I did not. So I'm going to get back Island. Play Island. Let's see. I cast this Mnemonic Wall, returning Pulse of Marassa. I feel like when my opponent's tapped out, they obviously won't have Skullcrack up. Double Fire Blast doesn't even come close to killing us now. I feel like it's actually worth it for us to just cast this Pulse of Marassa again now to ensure that we get this additional 6 life. So I'm going to do this for a Muldrifter. Okay. Still have some mana up, but there's nothing else we can do. If I had another Prophetic Prism, again, like more filtering would be awesome. Unfortunately, we just don't have that. So we're just going to go ahead and start getting some damage. We're at 22 life, so we're in pretty good shape. If I can get a second Mnemonic Wall, I can start Ghostly Flickering Pulse and Marassa multiple times a turn, which is where I would like to be at this point, but it's not where I quite am. And I don't think my opponent can piece together 22 damage in one turn when they just played their 5th Mountain, so... Searing Blaze does kill my Muldrifter because of Landfall, so that's fine. So my opponent has 2 cards in hand. We're definitely not dead anymore. Thorn Fall's great. Skullcrack. That's not legal in Pauper. Oh, thank you for the heads up. I've been playing scared about Skullcrack this whole time. So I'm not really familiar with Pauper, in case you haven't noticed. I think it's quite obvious, but I'm gonna go ahead and Mystical Teachings. I think I'm just gonna get another Pulse Marassa. Right? Yeah, another Pulse Marassa feels good, I think. Cast a Muldrifter again. Thank you for the heads up, Lion Rolls. I appreciate that. Yeah. So probably just gonna end up. We're probably just on the cast Forbidden Alchemy at the end of my opponent's turn. It could be correct to start Dinrova Horror with Ghostly Flicker. Against Burn, they have a lot of lands. I don't know if that's really gonna matter. We'll probably start that next turn, but this turn I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna do a Ghostly Flicker here though. Forbidden Alchemy to dig like something else might be better, but I think drawing cards and just digging into the deck, getting more land out, probably okay. I've built 26 of the Pauper decks in paper, so I got a hole in the meta. You clearly do have a hole in the meta. Yeah, I'm not huge on Pauper. So I'm currently doing a find the meanest deck in Magic, and someone said that they thought that this deck was very mean, which I can definitely see why that thought process is there. This deck is certainly mean. But I'm not really familiar with Pauper, so this is a new experience for me, I will say. I am going to start with this Dinrova Horror and start just bouncing lands, make them discard a card. Blueback Control is more mean? Huh. Alright, so we got a couple more mana. I'm going to play this Perfect Prism. Again, mana filtering I feel like is very important in the stage currently where we are. I guess we just play this Expedition map, whatever. Did I play a land this turn? I don't know if I did. Clearly I'm not paying. Yeah, I played Simic Gilgate. Cool. So we're getting plenty of mana up. If you have a list for a Blueback Control deck that you think is very mean in Pauper, if you want to tweet at me at Aaron Gazaniga with a link, and you want to see it streamed by someone that doesn't know what they're doing, I'll happily do that. You just gotta let me know. So I think here we can take the time to Ghostly Flicker a couple times. You're going to bolt my Muldrifter in response to me flickering out these two. Okay, it's fine. I don't understand the point of that really, but okay. That's going to target another mountain. So now we just start this. Yes, we'll use that ability. I can only do this once more. Again, I don't think there's any way my opponent kills us. I'd rather just hold this Ghostly Flicker in response to something. My opponent tries to Fire Blast one of these. I guess we still have the Pulse anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Firebrand Archer doesn't matter at all. Chain Lightning. Okay. We will take that, that's fine. Okay. No, we will not send it back. Alright, we're going to cast Ghostly Flicker, targeting these two, target Mountain, Timber Control with Chittering Rat's Handlock is evil. Chittering Rat's Handlock? Nice. Seems fun. Well, I'm glad you find it more interesting than watching someone who knows the format very well. It's a little awkward, honestly, for me. Yeah, my opponent is very, very much out of this game. I have this Pulse Marassa. Yeah, my opponent is very dead. I'm just going to play this Perfect Prism out so we can get more mana up. Or more filtering up. I'm going to go ahead and attack, see if they block. If they block, cool. If they don't, whatever. Another Mnemonic Wall. That's pretty cool. Okay, yeah, you can block. That's fine. I don't know what that really accomplishes for you, but sure. Ooh, that's nice. Our Chaomancer, I assume, is probably easier to cast than a 5-minute Mnemonic Wall, so that's pretty sweet. Blue-black Teachings, blue-black Alchemy, and Rat Flicker deck. Yeah, if you want to tweet any of these decks at me, I would love to. I don't mind the idea of exploring Pauper. I might not be huge into Pauper, but I don't mind like exploring. I personally love Magic. Like if you have a deck in Magic you want to see streamed, like tweet at me. I'm happy to try out weird things, even if they're personally I like to try out like brews, and I like to try out like things that are a little bit off the beaten path. Because I mean, there's so many streamers out there. They play all the decks that you expect to see. Like there's plenty of legacy players that play stuff like Check Pile and all that. That's just not really. It's not where I want to be in streaming. Like I want to show people things they haven't seen before. I want to show people things they don't usually see and they don't expect to see often. It's kind of what I'm all about. So I can three that pulse cast. Yeah, that doesn't do anything really. So we're just gonna go ahead and pass. So my opponent has 0 cards in play and 0 cards in hand. They haven't scooped yet. I'm assuming they think they can just time us out. Which, if that's what they think, then by all means, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and pulse here, getting back a Muldrifter. Obviously, Muldrifter is not really much of a clock, but I do want to close this out quickly so we don't have to worry about actually timing out. We're going to go ahead and cast this Muldrifter. Blue-red land destruction deck. Blue-red land destruction sounds like fun. I can get behind that for sure. All about the misery. We'll let that mana go away. Probably could have done that a little more efficiently by going to attacks, then second main doing that, but at this point it really doesn't matter. At this point we have this game locked out. 3, 4, blue. Cast this Muldrifter. Draw some more cards. Okay, I'll discard a Moment's Peace because I don't think that card's going to be relevant anymore. Need 1 Land Spy in your life? What is Land Spy? If you type !card, and then the card name, MTG bot will tell me what you're talking about. 1 Land Spy has mean against yourself. As someone that plays Pox, I can kind of get behind that. Still not sure why my opponent hasn't scooped. It's kind of frustrating. Oh, it's a combo deck that runs 1 land? Oh, Balustrade Spy. I see. That's what it is. 1-man Balustrade Spy. So it's like a graveyard-based deck. Okay. So we're dealing 8 here. Opponent's at 12. They're now at 4. There's no reason for me to cast any other creatures. I can play this, Thornwind Falls. We go back to 7 cards, and we gain another life. And this is pretty silly that my opponent's still here. Okay. So you want me to get rid of your one last mountain. Your mountain. Gotcha. Will do. My opponent just scooped, I wouldn't be this mean, but since my opponent's still here and they didn't bother scooping, I'm going to just be this mean and just do this. I wish there was a way that I could make my opponent discard a card so we get the flawless victory here, but yeah, we're going to play Bog. We're going to get rid of my opponent's graveyard. Now, if only I can make my opponent discard 1 goddamn card. I can't make my opponent discard this card. That's so frustrating. Alright, I'm just going to attack with my 2 Muldrifters, probably. Or get the Exacxies. There we go. Put them to 0. There we go. Okay, begin sideboarding. So that went much better than the last matchup against Burn. So bringing in Radiant Fountains, dropping a Bajuka Bug. Well, not Island, Bajuka Bug. I'm bringing the Dispels, the Hydroblast. Again, Finger and Marauder, like I came close to bringing last time, but again, I don't see how that card's really relevant. What did I board out last time? Moment's Peace, because my opponent isn't really getting into combat. Like, they do have that 1 creature that can attack, but it's not really relevant. They don't have really all that many creatures, so I'm not trying to stay on that plan. And their creatures don't particularly matter to me. Thermal Alchemist is like, okay, we might want to counter that, but it's not. I don't think it's relevant enough. The other creature just gets blocked all day by our stuff, so I don't care. If we had colored mana, this hand feels like it'd be really good. If I could trade like one of these Tron, if I could have natural Tron and a green, that'd be great. But obviously, that's asking for a lot. We're up a game, so we could just take the risk one time on this, which I think I'm gonna do. We do have five non-land cards that filter and 8 lands that can filter the colors we need. So we have a lot of things to draw into. So I'm gonna try this. Like I said, I'm not excited, but okay. Expedition map can get us a missing Tron piece, which is great. If I can draw a prophetic prism, that would be ideal. This hand might have been sketchy. I definitely am not lost. That's definitely not lost on me. So if you all hate me for keeping this hand, that's your problem. I'd like to take risks and have some fun, so we're gonna do it. I don't know if this is fun or if this is just me being an idiot. It's probably me being an idiot, but I'm having fun right now, so. If we just drew like Urza's Mine off that, that would have been like nuts. We did draw Shimmering Grotto, which is a filter, so that's good. Next turn, if we don't find the mine next turn, we could just go get mine. My opponent is stuck on one land. If I had access to like Dinrova Horror right now, that would just be ideal. That would just be delicious. So I can find a mine but not cast it yet. I can also just crop rotate for a mine, which actually is probably correct. Because then I can also cast this. I guess I can't cast Pulse of Marassa yet. But we're going to crop rotate for Urza's Mine. And then this gives us the ability to actually do a crop rotate later. Don't have all the mana I need, so we're going to do this. Whoa. Right, I'm going to copy and paste that somewhere. I don't know where. What do I want? I think I'm going to go for the Thornwood Falls. Again, it's not much. It is 1 life gained, and then it also is more mana filtering for us, or mana fixing for us. So I think I'm okay with this. I'll go ahead and paste your thing. Like this. That's the blue-red land destruction deck you were telling me about, right? So I just sent that to myself in an email, so I have access to it. It's not finished yet, needs some tweaking. Well, if you don't mind me still trying to run it around, and maybe together, if you are available, like, if you're available Thursday, if you want to tune into the stream, we can discuss some possible changes. If you're up for it, I wouldn't be opposed to if you want to actually Skype in, and you and I can run it through a league on Thursday. I might need to take Thursday off from Pauper. It might be next Sunday. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're down for that, I mean, I'm up for that for sure. All right, so we don't have to worry about anything like Skullcrack. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull some Marassa here. And we're going to get our power plant back. Not sure. All right. 2 Forbidden Alchemies to dig a little deeper in my deck too, so that's great. So we're in pretty decent control. My opponent missing those first 2 land drops was very fortunate for us. What is this? Oh, that's the cycle land, yep. Smash the Smithereens, takes away some of our filtering. It also deals us some damage. So filtering didn't matter because we drew our Dinrova Horror. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Obviously, we don't have the ability to start flickering it and crap, but I do want to kind of punish my opponent for doing that to us. Bouncing a mountain might have been correct because it would take away like their ability to Fire Blast here, which I don't think they're going to do. But bouncing the Forgotten Cave is nice because it does come into play tapped, so it keeps them off a 3rd mana. Unless they draw another mountain, of course. Molten Rain on my Urza's Tower. Well, it's a good thing we have another Urza's Tower. So if they didn't draw that mountain, they would have been stuck off 3 mana for another turn, which would have been relevant. That's good to know that they have Molten Rain, though. And here's another tower. Enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and cast one of these Forbidden Alchemies. Like to see what we can dig off the top of our deck. A couple Dispels, not bad. Mystical Teaching seems tempting. Mystical Teachings can be flashback, though. I think I'm going to take one of these Dispels. I think if like they try to Fire Blast me, it'll be relevant. I can always though like flashback the Mystical Teachings when we get more mana built up, so we're going to do that. I think we're in pretty decent control of this game right now. I might end up on their end step just Forbidden Alchemy again. Just another hard cast one. Thermo Alchemist. We can't dispel that, unfortunately. Can't dispel that either. So chances are at end step we're going to just be Forbidden Alchemy, trying to dig a little deeper for something. Obviously, finding another Pulse of Morass is great. Finding the Demonic Wall is fine. Another Dinrova Horror isn't terrible. Yeah, I think the Dinrova Horror is probably fine. I don't mind casting another one, bouncing this, making them discard. Hydroblast is awesome. Definitely need more filtering, though. The fact that they got rid of our filtering kind of sucks. That's fine. Black, blue, all this crap. Yeah. Black, pay one. Blue, Dinrova Horror. Pay 4. Yeah. Pay blue. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna bounce this Thermal Alchemist. Yeah, it might have been correct to play more of another filter land here. We have like a ton of mana, and now we have so much unused mana for our turn that we can't do anything with. So another filter land there over like the power plant might have been correct, because then we'd still have like at least the ability to make one blue to have a Hydroblast or Dispel up. I don't think my opponent has that Thermal Alchemist in hand. They have 3 other cards. It's like Bolt, 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 Blast. Yeah, that's not enough. They don't have that many cards, so we're in pretty good shape. On our turn, we'll likely just Hydroblast that to ensure that can't get out. Oh, ooh, ooh, that's nice. I like that Ghostly Flicker. I'm gonna Hydroblast this before combat, so they can't block. And then I'm gonna Ghostly Flicker after damage both my Dinrova Horrors, so we can bounce 2 lands and make them discard 2 cards. And then we still have Dispel up, so I'm actually really excited with this right now. Love punishing burn players. Feels so good. Yeah, my opponent scooped, so we won. All right, so we're 2-2 going into our last round, our last match. Got some payback against Burn. That's great. I think we actually won that in 2, right? Yeah, we won that 2-0, so that feels good since we just lost that 0-2 to the last Burn player. Lion Rose, thank you for following me on Twitch. I appreciate it. Every follow, every subscriber helps. I don't know if you have subscriptions and whatnot, but if you do, it's always appreciated. Okay, we are on the play. We will play first. We're against Falicon. Let's see what they're doing. We almost have Tron. Not quite. Mystical Teachings. I think I'm going to keep this hand. I don't know if it's going to be correct. It has a lot of mana. It has Mystical Teachings. It's almost got Tron. We have mana that we can filter, so... Or not filter, but we have like blue and green mana available. I think I'm just going to say, hey, whatever. Oh, it's 3 a.m. where you live? Oh, geez. Yeah, that's late. So that's, what? It's almost... So it's like 2:50 there, or 2:50 a.m. there, probably. So you're like 4 hours ahead? Or 6 hours ahead of me? Oh, jeez. What is this? My opponent is not playing a land. Okay. Oh, there they go. That makes way more sense. Ponder. So I played against Mono Blue Ninja Bear Delver the other day. That was kind of frustrating. Felt like I couldn't really do anything against them, and they were drawing all the cards. Yeah, I mean... So let's play Tower here. So my opponent has pondered and preordained. Is High Tide still decking? Is High Tide still decking Pauper now that Drake is gone? My assumption is going to be that this is going to be that Ninja Bear Delver deck, but yeah, there's a Delver of Secrets. So we're probably going to be seeing some ninjutsu soon. Definitely going to want access to mana next, like blue mana next turn, so I'm going to play the Stormwood Falls. Their deck does play Counterspell. What else did I see on that deck? I see Dispel on that deck. I don't know. There was another Counterspell that I saw. I think so. Still a deck I haven't seen around. Yeah. I think losing Drake was pretty obvious that deck wasn't going to stick around too much longer. Looks like I can't picture how that deck sticks around longer. So my opponent was unable to flip their Delver. They did tap 2 mana, play another Delver, and then another Delver. Okay. Only had mainboard like Trickery and Red Source. Crop Rotation's not bad. Means I can build Tron. Doesn't really particularly do anything. Let's see. So I think I do want to build Tron. So I think I have to crop rotate to build it, but I don't know if this is correct. Get rid of a land. We're going to go ahead and build our Tron. We don't have to worry about that anymore. But definitely need some filtering. My opponent having 4 cards in hand means they likely have multiple counter spells. I do have double Pulse of Marassus, so we probably gain at least 6 life, depending on what my opponent has. My opponent has Taxing Probe on top, so they're going to get a good peek at what we got. It's going to show me Probe 3 times. They reveal it 3 times. That's their Probe. They're going to take a peek at our hand, see how bad it looks. It's possible also I should have kept the Guildgate in hand so we have another green source and just played like the additional power plant and sacrificed that. So we get Tron and we have access to at least 2 blue and 2 green for a couple turns later. Delver is going to be a little bit of a problem. Evolving Wilds, okay, sure. Taking 9, oof. This loads up pretty quickly is what happens here. Assume my opponent has access to like Vapor Snag as well. Yeah, I definitely want the additional green now. That was unfortunate. Let's see if we can resolve a Pulse of Marassa targeting our Guildgate, so we can return that to our hand. Oh, hello. Did I not tap that for green? That's kind of silly. Green. There we go. All right. This doesn't resolve. We still have another turn, most likely, where we're not dead, but oh, okay, cool. We'll get another this down so we can hold up Moment's Peace plus Pulse of Marassa next turn. We're at 17, so we have 2 more turns. I guess we had 2 more turns anyway, but now we definitely have 2 more turns. I don't know what my opponent's been doing. Ooh, this is blue-red. Okay. So my opponent likely has some bolts. It's not good. Not what I want to see. Target creature gains Shadow and they draw a card. Okay. So I won't be blocking that Insectile Aberration with my 0 creatures. Alright. Take 9 here, go to 8. So chances are we don't die to anything really at the moment. I can't picture like, yeah. So they could get a second red source, which means next turn we're probably dead to like a couple bolts and some delvers, but we're going to start with a Prophetic Prism, get access to some more mana. We'll likely just play this other power plant unless we draw another tower. So we drew another power plant, so that's cool. We have Moment's Peace that we can cast twice next turn. Plus I can try a Pulse Marassa here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Pulse Marassa doesn't actually do anything, so we don't have a creature or land to target. That's awkward. Huh. I wouldn't do for a sweeper. Huh. So I guess like we can Pulse Morass on my opponent's Evolving Wilds, which I think matters. My opponent's Counterspell, they're going to use it regardless on like Moment's Peace or something. I'd rather them use it on this Pulse Marassa. So at this point, it's going to take at least 2 bolts for my opponent to kill us, or at least 3 bolts for my opponent to kill us, even if they counter that. We can cast Moment's Peace twice if we have to, which isn't ideal, but it is something we have access to. I'm going to try Mystical Teachings here. I don't know what we're going to go get. It's got to be something we can get. I guess like redundant Moment's Pieces aren't terrible right here. It's like nothing else here really does anything. Yeah, nothing else here does anything at all. Like I can get Condescend doesn't do anything. Prohibit could counter something relevant. I think additional Moment's Peace is probably what we're in the market for currently. I guess one downside of that is double Moment's Peace isn't really up now. So if they have Counterspell plus like bolts, plus 2 bolts, they kill us. But they haven't really done anything, so I don't know what my opponent has in hand. We know they have at least one Evolving Wild because I did return that with the Pulse Marassa. But at this point, we're just basically hemorrhaging. Like, I have to resolve one of these Moment's Pieces, and they have to not have bolts. So we're going to start with Moment's Peace, which is the first key to not dying here. That did resolve, so we can 6 to the turn, or F6 to the turn. Okay, so we take no combat damage. Awesome, we're not dead yet. I'll lead with a Perfect Prism. Again, if we draw a tower, I'd rather play tower than one of the other Tron pieces since it gives us extra mana. Dinrova Horror could be good if we can resolve it. Let's try it, I guess, right? Let's make it black. Using one of these. Let's make it blue. And I still have 2 Moment's Peace I can cast next turn. If they don't counter this, I get to bounce a Delver, which will be great. So my opponent clearly is not... I don't know what my opponent's been drawing other than land. My opponent early cast a bunch of cantrips, 3 Delvers, played a bunch of lands. I don't know what else they've really done. Okay. This is interesting. Love to draw a Mnemonic Wall, flashback Mystical Teachings, or cast Mystical Teachings, get a Ghostly Flicker. At that point, if we can get this up, we can actually win. So I'm probably going to flashback this Moment's Peace here. I don't particularly want to take the 6 damage. Could be correct to just take the 6 once, but I'm going to not take the chance. Flashback. They know about 1 Moment's Peace from us. I don't think they saw with a probe. Are these my revealed cards? I don't remember what my revealed cards are. It's revealed. No, that's exiled. That's revealed. So yeah, they only... I don't remember if I had a Moment's Peace in hand when they get taxing probe. I believe I did. So they should know about my second Moment's Peace if they took a screenshot or wrote down or whatever. There's there with the Delver Secrets. There's another Delver Secret. Oh my god. I don't know why with Delvers is what they're doing. It's fun for them. It's not fun for me. Not where I want to see this. Tower's pretty good. How much does this cost with flashback? 6. Jesus. I really want these Pulse Marasses back. I would love to draw into a Mnemonic Wall so I can start doing that. We're going to flashback those Mystical Teachings. And I don't know what I'm going to get. I guess Ghostly Flicker is probably what I want to get here. So I can use this and draw a card. It's not perfect, but it's something. I have the filtering off this again, so that's pretty sweet. My opponent hasn't cast any counter magic or any See, it's really odd. My opponent hasn't cast a single counter spell or any bolts or anything, so I'm not sure. I wish I had some way to look at my opponent's hand to see what they're drawing. Like a duress or something would be great here. Opponent discard island, so clearly they have plenty of land. Since I just bounced a Delver. There's another Monk Wall, which is nice. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cast that. I'm going to return a Pulse and Harass out of my hand. I guess I should return a Ghostly Flicker to my hand. Makes more sense. We're going to take 9, possibly. So it would take 2 bolts to kill us. I still have Moment's Peace in hand, so I can still cast that. After this turn, I can start casting Ghostly Flicker multiple times on both of these to keep their Delvers off the board. If my opponent obviously doesn't interact with that. So I think that I probably should have gone to attack first as well. It's like we might not win this game if we don't start pushing through some damage, make my opponent block and whatnot. If my opponent has Bolt in hand and they flip 2 Delvers off another Bolt, that'll just make me sad. Okay, Apostle's Blessing. Oh, okay, that's neat. That's only target creature they control, right? Target artifact or creature you control. Okay, good. Just want to make sure. So I do have to be aware of that. So I probably want to start targeting lands with my Dinrova Horror. I'm definitely going to be casting Moment's Peace here. Oh boy. I'll make the green and then cast Moment's Peace is what I'm going to do. I have to assume it's going to get countered. The fact my opponents cast all these cantrips early and haven't countered anything is just weird to me. Okay, so now I'm really confused. My opponent could just be trying to play in such a way that they're giving me hope and then they're going to, like, you know, shut me down last minute. I don't know what's going on here exactly. Is that 4th Delver again? Okay. Okay. Another Moment's Peace is pretty sweet. Play this Power Plant. We are very good on mana now. I should probably go to combat and attack with this Dinrova Horror first. So I can Ghostly Flicker like 4 times. I can bounce all my opponent's islands, probably. I think that's correct. We're going to try it. My opponent counters this, shuts down this one for a bit. We'll have to find either a second Ghostly Flicker, or we'll have to find something else. Or another Monk Wall to buy it back again. What do you got here? 2 red mana, probably some bolts. You're targeting with that bolt, huh? They're both targeting the Monk Wall, okay. So I guess my Monk Wall's going away. Which kind of sucks, because that does take away my fun. Now we know we've gotten rid of a couple other bolts, which is nice. Just bounce an island, I guess, right? Do need to draw some cards, because now that we can't chain this, we are in a little bit of... We're going to be in a little bit rough shape here. At the moment, we know my opponent has 1 island in hand. Another island. Ugh, that sucked. Double bolt on my Monk Wall. That kind of blows. I still have 3 more Moment's Peace, so we have 3 more turns to draw something. If we could draw Forbidden Alchemy, that'd be great. Shadow Rift, okay, that's something. If we can draw Forbidden Alchemy, that'd be great. It digs pretty well. We have a ton of mana, so... Hey, that has Shadow. Let me draw a card. Go ahead and flash back that Moment's Peace that's in my graveyard. So we don't take damage here. I still have 2 more of this. Oh, man. Is Plummet legal in this format? 'Cause I feel like Plummet would be great here. Roof Soul, not quite good enough. We are starting to race my opponent in damage a little bit. Opponent's going to be at 12. We Moment's Peace, then our opponent goes to 8. Moment's Peace, our opponent goes to 4, and then we're probably dead. So, I don't... This one Moment's Peace is not going to be enough. We need to either get like another clock on board, or we need to continue some more Namakwal Ghostly Flicker shenanigans. Shame we didn't have this remove soul for when the Delvers were coming back down after flickering our Dinrova Horror. Let's see what happens here. My opponent hasn't used any counter magic at all, so I have to assume there's going to be some counter spell at some point. The fact my opponent has not revealed one at all is very odd. I wonder if there's just like a bunch of bounce effects. They don't want to bounce my Dinrova Horror, because obviously that is going to be frustrating for them if I keep recasting it. It's going to be like a tempo thing where there's like, you know, a lot of bounce, but I do not know what's going on here. So we're seeing plenty of land. I definitely need to find some, like a Mull Drifter would be great. Mull Drifter into other cards obviously would be awesome. I think we've gone through 2 Moment's Peace so far, and we're about to finish our 3rd. So, I mean, I need to get something going as far as this Flicker engine goes. So I guess if my opponent doesn't have any more bolts in hand, we actually can race them if they keep swinging right out. Doesn't seem very likely. Okay, so they're holding back a creature now. I'm going to go ahead and just cast this with Flashback. If my opponent gets any of this damage through this turn, next turn they can just swing all out and just kill us. So we have to stop that attack as well. At least this way we can start basically becoming the Abyss. Start just killing a creature each turn if they have to block, so... Ghostly Flicker is not bad. We can hire Dinrova Horror and a Prophetic Prism, which would be nice. Yep, I will kill your Delver. That's fine. And I'm going to Ghostly Flicker, bounce another Delver, remove Soul on the way back down if you have it on the way back down. I'm going to Ghostly Flicker one of these Prophetic Prisms too to draw another card. No, I don't have a burn spell. Okay. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll just bounce a different Delver. That's fine. My opponent actually makes a move before damage and they have like a bolt or something, I'm going to be able to Ghostly Flicker in response to it, so I hope that's not what they're doing. It'd be poor, but we're going to draw another card here. We're going to bounce one of their other Delvers. Okay. We know they use the Apostle's Blessing they revealed earlier. There's a possibility my opponent has more Apostle's Blessings, but given the fact they just passed doesn't mean, probably means they don't. And they discard the Evolving Wilds that we didn't know about. Forbidden Alchemy's pretty good. I do want to try and dig, so I'm going to go ahead and cast that now. If I can find a Demonic Wall here, we're in very good shape again. Look at that. Oh, baby. Demonic Wall. Okay. So we're back to fun times. Let's get the Ghostly Flicker back. Okay. Yes, we will use that. I'm going to go ahead and do this once more to bounce another Delver. And then we'll hold this up for their turn. Oh my god, this game has been a slog. This game's been good. Like, it's been a really good game, but this has been a slog fest. This has been really tough. I know my opponent has 1 Delver in hand. Now they have 2, unless they discard Delver. Yep, okay, so they discard Mountain. So my opponent's been drawing very mana heavy. This is probably the only reason we're alive right now. My opponent is now at 6 as well, so we're in very good shape. I don't have any more... I don't have any more Moment's Peace at the moment. This creature gains double strike. Okay. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'll be 12 damage. think that's fine. If you're not going to be cost 7, I can't cast that right now. Okay, yeah, I mean, not much I can do about that. My opponent doesn't have another red source. They can't just kill us here. That's going to be 12 damage, put us to 2. We also can't kill them, which is unfortunate. Oh. That's not good. That's going to be enough to kill us, so... short mana. I think I got a little too greedy last turn. I'm short mana. I can Ghostly Flicker and then rebuy a Pulse of Marasa. Is there anything I can do here that actually means we don't die? Oh, that was such a long game to just die like that. Oh, that kind of sucks. Oh, you know what I can do, though? If my opponent has another Apostle's Blessing, they have another Apostle's Blessing. There's nothing I can do about that. So here, I'm going to try and just bounce that back to their hand. If they jumped the gun the Apostle's Blessing before I choose targets, that would have been great, because then I could just choose the other one and we're not dead. I'm going to go ahead and bounce that one. It's possible I should have tried bouncing the other one, but... Alright, so we got away with that, so that's cool. We're not dead, which is awesome. We are just going to take 6. We'll be at 8, which is great. And they're now at 4 because they use Mutant Degenerate Growth to pay 2 life. So now we can just attack with our Dinrova Horror and kill them. Oh my god, that worked out so well. Yeah, we don't have the Roof Soul up anymore, do we? That's unfortunate. So yeah, they'll get a chance to block at least once. That happens. That's fine. More mana is fun. Alright, we'll play Theirs as mine. I will go to combat. I will attack. They will block. They will lose a Delver. I will bounce one of their Delvers. They have 0 cards in hand right now, so every Delver I bounce here is just gone. So actually, I can actually wipe their board right now, which seems very nice. I'm going to do that. Oh, this was a slogfest. This is not fun. I don't know if this is fun for me either, honestly. Bye, Delver. Okay, yes. Oh, God. Bye, Delver. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and bounce both their mountains as well, because I do not want them to have access to... what's going on? No, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want them to have access to the red mana and bolts, so I'm going to go ahead and do this to both their mountains as well to get those out of play, so that way I know they can't just potentially have some random ability like bolt and cast another spell that kills us. So I don't know what exactly they could have, but I'd rather play it careful and not die after doing all this work than to not play it careful and just die. So we're going to go ahead and do this. It's going to get Ghostly Flicker back. It's going to get Dinrova Horror, Bouncing a Mountain. They're going to have to then discard. Alright. Yes, we'll do that. Alright, I'll pass. We'll hopefully just go to our next turn and kill them. Alright, awesome. Go to sideboard. Alright, we are 1 game up against Blue-Red Delver. That was a slog, if anything. I like the ideas of Dispels. I like the ideas of Electricity. Hydroblast, I'm not. Hitting bolts and assault strobes might be okay. But there was enough not blue where I don't think Hydroblast is going to be great. Or enough like not red where I don't think Hydroblast is going to be great. Wretched Griff could be okay just because it could be a 3/4 flying blocker for a Delver. So I'm going to board the Wretched Griffin. I'm going to bring in Radiant Fountain and drop Bajuka Bog just to have like that random gain some life effect. I don't know if that's going to be relevant, but we're going to try it at least. Moment's Peace was super, super good there, so we're going to keep that in. I think Condescends might be a little bit too slow and a little bit too mana intensive for the way this match went. Roof Soul seems fine. Prohibit. Prohibit might be correct to cut, or I'm going to look through some of these other cards. So if I'm bringing in Wretched Griff, I probably want these Seagate Oracles, which I'm not huge on. Again, I don't particularly like Seagate Oracle in this deck, but I think it might be fine. I'm going to trim a Dinrova Horror. I don't know if I can. Like, the bounce and discard is, like, too good against that deck. I don't know what to do. I guess if I'm bringing trickeries, I can probably trim a Moment's Peace. The spell just might not be good enough, but I think it's worth it to keep in to force through things. Pulse Marassa was pretty good, but it might not be all that relevant. Pulse Marassa might be the card that comes out, but I don't think it is, because Pulse Marassa from Nawak Wall seems good. Yeah, I think Dinrova is probably bad. Hey, how's it going, Orin? Try my hand at Popper. We're 2-2 on Dinrova Tron. We're up a game against Mono Blue Delver. Yeah, maybe this Remove Soul is probably they're still pretty light on creatures, so I don't know if Remove Soul is going to be great. Bringing in a 2-letter Trickery, you can probably trim one. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing with this deck. This hand has the ability to 2-letter Trickery with the mana fixing to actually cast it, so I think I'm going to do this. We're going to keep it. We have a Tron piece. We have Prism to draw and filter. We have an Dinrova Horror, so that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't know really much about Popper either, so. I'm going to start with a Thorn Falls. We'll gain the life. We'll get the blue mana out there as soon as possible. Next time we're just going to play this Prophetic Prism. Hopefully our opponent doesn't just go like Delver. I guess they can't because they have a mountain in play currently. Kiln Fiend, that's not good. Mana base for this deck is atrocious. Yeah, Kiln Fiend could be a problem. I don't know if you're aware, but that card I hear deals some damage. So we're going to just go ahead and cast Prophetic Prism and cantrip. See if we're dead or not. Our Trickery obviously doesn't answer Kill Fiend, so that's going to be something we're going to have to figure out. So we have our second Tron piece, which is great. Our opponent does just start dropping Delvers here. We can Trickery them all away, which is great. Kiln Fiend could be a real problem. We know our opponent has Probe, they have Ponder, they have Preordain, they have Assault Strobe. They also have Bolts. So, I mean, I have nothing to do, so I'm just going to have 6. My opponent just goes Kiln Fiend you to death on turn 3. They go Kiln Fiend you to death on turn 3. There's not really anything I can do about that. It's like, I guess, Mutagenic Growth, Probes, Assault Strobes. All those are very good cards for my opponent here. There's an Assault Strobe, okay. So my opponent's attacking for 14 currently. If my opponent has a Mutagenic Growth, that will be enough. There's a Probe. Opponent's attacking for 20. And let's see what my opponent does. So next turn I'm probably just playing Seagate Oracle off my 2 Tron pieces, my Thorwind Falls, to dig 2 cards deep. Oh boy. Do you have another free spell opponent? Gutshot? Is Gutshot legal in Popper? I think it is. Oh, sweet. We might not be dead here. Mutagenic Growth will kill us, though. We are at 1. My opponent just has Bolt, we're just dead. If my opponent doesn't just have Bolt, we're okay. Gutshot is legal? Oh, that's good to know. If I die to a Gutshot, I will clap for my opponent. I don't want either of these cards. Well, I guess I want Map in my hand because it does get me my last Tron piece. I really need a creature that actually kills a Kiln Fiend, though. Oh, we are so dicked. We are very dead here. My opponent has the Bolt. We're just dead. You have the Bolt? It's funny, because game 1, it took them forever to find... Oh, nope. Apostle's Blessing will be good enough as well. So we are dead. We will concede the game. So we'll go to game 3. So that was fun. So I do want my Remove Soul. I do want my Hydroblasts. I immediately want those cards. No problem whatsoever. We're going to get rid of Dispels and Prohibits. I think Hydroblasts kill their Kiln Fiends, counter their red spells, which are more relevant. Electricities for their Delvers, Remove Soul for their Kiln Fiends, their Delvers, etc. I think that that's going to be perfectly fine. Game 1 was super fun and interactive. That game wasn't. That game was horrible. That wasn't even close. No. If I had a second mana, this hand's so good. Moan's Piece isn't bad if they go all in on a Kiln Fiend, but we do need that second mana. I'm going to keep this because it has everything we do need. If we draw a second mana, we do have Remove Soul, so if they try to go like Delver or Kiln Fiend or something like that, we'll be okay. Yeah, I feel like both sides of that last game played very well, you know. The game was pretty good. It was close, you know. People had fun. Things were fun and things were good, so, you know, there's that. We see a Delver here. Electricity would be great to draw. Hydroblast is bad to draw. No land is bad to draw. Oh, no. Yeah, this keep was a little sketchy, I guess. Hopefully I didn't just throw away a game by keeping a very sketchy one-lander. My opponent revealed Mutant and Giant Growth to flip their Delver. Which also means Electricity is no longer a way to kill this Delver, which sucks. Okay, go 17. Opponent plays Mountain. Opponent plays Kill Fiend, and we kill it. Yeah, we're going to kill it. No. Well, didn't draw land again. We're in kind of tough shape. But at least we killed the Killing Fiend. Well, this hand didn't have pretty much everything I needed. Then I would not have kept it, but sometimes that happens. Not like this deck, not like this. Give me runners. I can draw a land next turn, play a Prism. Maybe cantrip into another land. Just wishful thinking, really, at this point. Moment's Peace did do a lot of work for us game one, so we do have 2 Moment's Peace. So if we can draw into another land, we have the perfect Prism for the filtering. We can start Moment's Piecing if my opponent goes wide. We're able to take control of that first game and eventually get Dinrova Horror down with Mnemonic Wall and Ghostly Flicker. So if we can do that again, we'll be in very good shape. Obviously, we need to draw land, though. Wouldn't mind drawing runner Tron pieces. That'd be obviously ideal. It's going to be unfortunate losing like this, though, to what happened here, you know? Land that comes in tap, so a little unfortunate. Luckily, that land does also give us a life, so it gives us a little something. This keep was very unfortunate. The hand had so much potential if we just drew a couple lands earlier. Although I guess on the play you're also like less likely to draw the land, so it probably would. It might have just been correct to. Oh my god! I'm on my second mana for my move soul. No. That's a problem. All right. I mean, it's no worse than a Killing Fiend, so that's fine. We can draw another Hydroblast. We can kill it. I can draw land into Prism into Hydroblast. That'd be great too. Is it Blitz? Is that what this is? Okay. Is it Blitz? Okay, you can all leave now if you want. I don't blame you. Guildgate. I'm going to play Prism. What's going on here? Hopefully draw an untapped land. Yeah, that works. I guess I should have played the tap land there. I kind of jumped the gun on that one. I actually still can't cast Moment's Peace here, so... No, don't just have all the spells. I did not realize how much red my opponent had in their deck until game 2. Game 1, they literally saw 4 Delvers, a ton of cantrips, a couple bolts, a couple assault strobes, and like a Apostle's Blessing and a Mutant and Giant Growth. Alright. My opponent doesn't cast more spells here. We're not just dead. We can start holding up Moment's Peace, which is great. I would not mind finding another Hydroblast, obviously, because killing the Nivix Cyclops is going to be really relevant. Okay. I'm going to stop randomly just passing. Wait, is that... Oh, that's exact. Damn it. That's exactly 12, so we're just dead, actually. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and scoop this up. So we are 2-3 in this league, unfortunately. Oh, it's a friendly league, so I guess we still get some play points. That's cool. So I got 40 play points back, so that's not terrible. We'll pull up this deck real quick. We'll show it off. So yeah, my biggest problem with this deck so far, as was discussed earlier, is like Electricity doesn't feel good enough for a sweeper for this deck. I guess like the main deck it's there for is Elves, which if we found it versus Elves, we would have been in very good shape. Unfortunately, didn't find it, but it's a little tricky with the red since you also have to have the right mana filtering, which generally is going to require 3 mana in order to get there. Or 3 lands if you have a Shimmering Grotto, just 2 mana if you have a Prophetic Prism. But again, if you're not heavy on mana sources, you're probably just going to lose anyway over time. Maybe not. But I would like to see some better I'd like to find some better sweeper effect for this deck other than Electricity. The Hydroblast ended up being great. Dispels I wasn't big on, but I can see why they're in here. The Ancient Grudge and the Ray of Revelation. Ray of Revelation never really mattered. I'm not sure what it's there for. The Ancient Grudge would have been great to see against Affinity. Correctly, do we beat that? I think we beat them anyway. Probe, I'm not sure why it's here. This card really was confusing. I didn't ever want to bring it in. And I'm not sure what exactly, like 5 mana and you draw 3, discard 2, and your opponent discards 2. I'm not sure where that comes into play particularly. Maybe I'm just... Again, I don't know Pauper all that well, so I'm assuming there's a reason Probe's in here. Probe on the side is weird? Okay. That's what I thought. So the deck that I got this from was by I think it's Dude 252 or something like that. Yeah, it's popular. Like I guess I could see like late game if you end up like Probe with like Mnemonic Walls, and I have no idea honestly. I can't for the life of me I can't picture why Probe is in this deck. I don't know. There's some random combo deck you hope to hit 5 mana against where you're gonna draw 3, discard 2, and then make opponent discard 2 cards. I don't understand. Probe is something I would probably find a better replacement for. Fangren Marauder, I can see how it'd be nice, but again, another card that if you need the life gain, I don't know if like the artifact part of this is good enough. Like against Affinity, this probably would have been fine if I had found it early and then found like an Ancient Grudge or something, but otherwise it didn't really feel like it did much. Like if it was like whenever an artifact is put in a graveyard from anywhere, this card would be great because you start bouncing your Dinrova Horrors, they start discarding artifacts after the fact, stuff like that. Like I would rather see like some number of recoils, like actual recoils. Fangren stops when it's hogging me. Yeah, I mean I guess against Affinity when they were using a Tog, I just had like my Moments Piece, and then I did Dinrova Horroring, bounce everything else. So a Tog was never really... A Tog was actually the least scary card out of that deck from when I played against it. But yeah, that's fair. I can definitely see that. It just feels like there are better options. Like I'd rather additional Ancient Grudge if I'm worried about like the Affinity deck. And then I have like, if I'm really scared of a Tog, like I have Hydroblast. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not giving it enough credit because like you do have like your Fierce Empath with your Fangren Marauder to, you can actually, if you're getting like Tron online and you get like your Prophetic Prisms out, you can actually almost curve this into this. So that's not bad, but I might be wrong. Wretched Griff's interesting. I'm not sure if I really like it. Like I guess like Wretched Griff is a way to like actually draw cards when you do have like Mnemonic Walls and Ghostly Flickers going. But being a 1-of at 7 mana and you have to get like bring enough for your Empath to go get it, I don't know. I would have to know the format. I have to actually talk to someone that played this deck regularly to explain these card choices to me, so I'd understand them better. But yeah, I wasn't huge on the spells, but I can appreciate them being there. I'd love a better sweeper than Electricity. The Probe I think needs to go. The Ray of Revelation, I don't know exactly what that's in there for. I didn't see any enchantments, I don't think. But I'm not surprised if there is something that... I guess it can be good against, like, Oubliette. Like Pestilence. Well, Pestilence seems pretty loose to begin with. Little Crusher is great. I love having this card in the deck. I actually wouldn't mind a second. I actually would not mind a second one at all. Yeah, this deck was pretty miserable though for my opponents. The games we won, like, deck was very mean. You know, leaving our opponent with one of our opponents. Our burn opponent, we got to leave with 0 permanents in play, 1 card in hand, and exactly 0 life. So that was fun. That was definitely great. But yeah, I would play this deck again. If yeah, if anyone has anything that they would like to, any questions they'd like to ask, anything they'd like to see, you know, feel free to tweet at Aaron Xaniga. It's in the overlay. Um, you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitch. I will be posting this video to YouTube later, so you can follow me. You can go to YouTube and look for my channel, which is my first and last name, which is the same as my Twitter handle. Makes it very easy when you have a last name like that. But thank you very much for everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Card Hoarder and Hipsters of the Coast, for making this stream possible. And I'll be seeing you all on Thursday at 8 p.m. for my next stream. Not sure I'm running yet, but I'll probably have a pull up later. We're probably going to have some vintage decks in there because we haven't really done anything in vintage yet. So we'll probably be looking at like Shops, Dredge, and maybe another deck in another format. We'll see. Thank you very much for stopping by and have a good night.